Dave Smith. Dave Smith just like rebooted up the old kind of 2010, reheated the whole like anti-neocon, anti-Zionist bit. He just kind of reheated the same takes that everybody had already heard of, all that stuff. All right, brother, how you doing? We are live. We started it early because the music was messed up, so I had to jump in.
Oh, it's all good.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just working on, that I'm always working on videos, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm excited to jump on here and have a conversation.
Yeah, it's good to have you on, man.
Yeah.
I found your stuff recently, actually. You've been on a few shows, right? You've been on Green. You've been on a few podcasts.
I've been on the big ones. I've been on Danny Jones and Julian Dory, a couple other ones like that. But yeah, I was also talking to Adam Green a few times, and Richard Spencer I talked to. Yeah.
Your YouTube channel is pretty big. You got how many? You got like 200,000?
I think 230, something like that. 230, somewhere around there. About 1,000.
So you're a big shot, man. You are a YouTube sensation, a star.
YouTube sensation. I've been slacking this year because I was traveling. I went to Greece. I went to Buffalo. I was doing a bunch of stuff, and so if you look at my uploads this year, there's like you can count on two hands how many uploads I had this year. But I'm gonna get back into it. My big year was 2023 and I think a little bit of last year too. But I built up a nice channel.
Grind, yeah, the YouTube grind. I mean, were you ever banned off of YouTube at any point, or
no?
They let you back? No.
I get once in a while. I get strikes for random, like right now. I noticed I just got one for some stupid shit. Like, and I usually can get rid of them. Like I usually can fight them off. But like the topics I talk about, believe it or not, are like YouTube does not like it. I struggle to keep everything monetized. They don't like when you talk about religion or Judaism or stuff like that, or that's like Christianity. It's like, don't talk about that stuff. You're gonna hurt people's feelings. And then like my videos that I will spend hours and hours editing will go, this is no longer monetized because it is going against sensibilities or something like that. So I do have some issues. It's not all like smooth sailing over here, but for the most part, I can get around it.
YouTube's gay, man.
It is, dude. I'm thinking about coming over here on Rumble, man. I should.
Yeah, YouTube's been fucked up. I mean, I was banned from YouTube years ago. I had a lot of different channels, always got banned. I mean, the censorship was worse like a few years ago, actually. And then recently they did some kind of amnesty stuff where they let people back on, but not everybody. So I did get back on, but it's tough to build it up from zero, man. Like unless you have like a super dedicated fan base who all just go mass sub you, it's hard to get back into the algorithm, Like I'll have one video that's got like 6,000 views and then another one that just 200, It's like you can't even predict how to get into that algorithm,
Yeah, and exactly. It's weird. Like I'll put together a really highly produced documentary style video that I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to do good. Nothing. It'll just flop 10 out of 10. And then other times I'll just upload some slop or a re-upload of a clip or something, and all of a sudden, boom, it's 1 million views. Like what the heck? Like I have no idea how to figure this thing out. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's like on Instagram, I noticed that like some of my clips would take off on Instagram, my Omegle stuff. And like they're really good clips where I'm like debating someone and it's like a good gotcha clip, and then it only gets like 2,000 views, and then I post some stupid video of some black people jumping around and it gets like 200,000 views, right? 300, like I just posted one of like a silly video of, I don't know what it was, but really silly video and like 500,000 views, and then a really good debate clip, 1,000 views. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It kind of makes you lose your faith in humanity because like, what are you guys into? Like, why do you don't care about anything important or anything like interesting or intelligent? You just want like slop. That's all you guys want. It's like, man,
that's what I noticed, dude. I X is the exact same. It's the slop shit. the slop shit flies.
It
But
does.
like a well thought out post with some effort into it, or like a written post, just doesn't get
Nope.
play, man.
No one cares.
It's ridiculous, dude. These social media platforms have killed people's minds,
Yeah. It's only
and
gonna
the
get
alt
worse
media,
too. It's only gonna get
the
worse.
alt the alt media is like, it passes itself off as the alternative, but all of these people have their little biases and their
They're
weird,
immediate. They're coming
yeah.
into their own as mainstream. They're as a new kind of mainstream. It's like just a different side of the mainstream now because it's so big
Mhm.
that it's no longer alt anymore. Isn't that what the point of alt is? That it's kind of like alternative. No one's really there. It's different. But now the alternative media is so big and it's got so many donors behind it doing all these lobbying and all this stuff. It's just the same shit.
Well, did you notice Tucker Carlson, like when he got booted out of Fox, like when he was on Fox, I honestly thought he had better takes and he was more reasoned, and he was kind of sticking within that right wing culture war frame, and he was doing some pretty good stuff on Fox. But then as soon as he got off of Fox, he went down all these weird rabbit holes, and now he's like, one of the first guests he had on his show was that kook who claimed that Obama gave him a blowjob or something, to some like
Yeah, I remember
gossip
that.
shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you reheating that slop? Like that was pure slop. I
It
was
was
like,
pure
yo,
clickbait.
he's
You can tell.
yeah. And then he started getting into UFOs and more spiritualistic stuff, and claimed he was attacked by demons and stuff. So this guy's gone off the deep end, man.
He tells us that he sleeps with his dogs who have like nails and scratch around. Like you're giving us the
Yeah.
picture that we can put together the evidence in our minds, and then you're going, I don't know what scratched me. I woke up with scratches. It had to be demons. What else could it be? Everyone's like, dude, it's your
Right.
dogs, bro. Stop sleeping with dogs. It's nasty.
I think Candace the same. Candace Owens the same situation. As soon as she, with Daily Wire, she was pretty decent. She focused on critiquing BLM and stuff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which was
Oh yeah.
good.
I remember the early Candace Owens being just noticing the talent. Like it was there for sure.
Yeah, she was like the anti BLM black woman. Like it was, she kind of
Blexit.
was
Didn't she
a
start Blexit?
diversity.
Black
Yeah,
Exit? Yeah.
yeah. She kind of was a diversity hire in a way. Like she's the black
Isn't that
conservative.
ironic?
She
I
totally
always laugh at
was. I
stuff
mean,
like that.
like Charlie Kirk, no doubt picked her up because she's black, and same with Daily Wire. If she's not black, it's just not the same. I
Like
mean, I guess there are
Dave
some.
Rubin. Why would he's oh look, we got our gay token dude now. He can be our
Yeah,
classical liberal of the channel and he'd say everything we want him to say. It's the same
right.
shit.
Well, I guess there are some Candace tier commentators that are obviously white chicks. Like what's that kind of Barbie looking chick? She's on Fox sometimes.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
can't think of her name right now. I know what you're talking about. Um
yeah,
oh, it's coming to me.
she was
I yeah.
similar. She was
Yeah.
similar to Candace, but obviously she's hot, so that's why she gets play. But
The one from the
as
Blaze,
soon
right?
as
Tammy Lauren or whatever?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
As soon
said
as
Barbie.
Candace
I
get
thought it came right to my head. I was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, she's got too much makeup, man. Take that makeup off, and she's nothing, man. Jesus. Well, I've seen those before. I've seen those crossover photos where they got the chick with the makeup, the celebrity with the makeup, and she takes it off as a completely different person.
Yeah. That's how
Um,
most of those people on in front of cameras are.
so Candace, she goes down the total deep end, man. She's on
Gone.
another level.
Completely gone.
Um, I don't know if you
Um
follow her,
yeah, oh
but she's
yeah. Who doesn't? She's like the biggest thing. You can't miss something like that. The clips are all over Twitter. It's in your face. Like she's like being pushed down the algorithm. And like you're right,
yeah.
it's completely batshit brain fell out of your head type shit. It's gone like there's nothing intelligent. Like the whole Charlie Kirk thing. There's a conversation to be had about like, was there a patsy? Was he really turning on Israel? I think there's a whatever. Like there's some interesting things, details regarding that. But like the idea that the camera behind him shot him or something, or there's like a third shooter over here on this little look at what is that, a plant or someone's head? Like people are just like losing their shit going through these clips, and it's like, dude, wait a little bit, be patient, wait for the trial to happen, wait for we still don't know all the
Yeah.
details yet. Like who knows what happened, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, what we know, I mean, what we have so far as the evidence, it looks pretty convincing that that kid was
I
involved, and
agree.
they have the security video. He's the only one that's on that security video coming off of the roof.
Right.
There's
I always
nobody
ask
else
people
there, so
I always ask people who think he didn't do it, how did they get him to go there at that exact time,
right,
jump on the roof, and then jump off, and then turn
right,
himself in and ruin his
yeah.
entire life because he didn't do it? As if you can answer that question,
The
I'm walking right next
the
to you.
o-
I'm not even
they'll
trying to
just
downplay you.
they'll always just widen the net of the conspiracy to just say he's brainwashed. He's like a patsy MK Ultra, which
MK
is
Ultra.
ridiculous. I mean,
That's your only
he's
answer.
he
That's
would have to be
I'm being
literally
serious,
mind
dude.
controlled.
That's the only way you can get me to believe what you're saying. If you could
Yeah,
somehow prove he got MK Ultra, that's it. Because
right.
how
Which they
and not
can't
only
do.
that, the video when the shot goes off, everyone turns and looks in that direction. You can see them all. They're not looking behind at the camera that
Yeah.
everyone thinks shot him. They're not looking at the guy in front with the hand thing. They think the handgun. Ever seen that crazy one? They're not looking in that direction. They're looking at the direction where Tyler was. The evidence is
Yeah.
very clear what happened. Now,
Eh,
we don't know all the details, but that's what we know so far.
Well, and we also know that he did have a transgender roommate. I mean, I think that's a fact at this point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this person was
And that person
his
has a lot of
boy.
issues too,
Yeah.
from what I know.
So I mean, it like that's what I thought it was when I first saw it, because who else is going to kill Charlie Kirk at a political event? It's a political hit. They wanted to do it in front of everybody.
Right.
You'd think if it was some secret conspiracy, you'd think maybe they'd go for a more subtle route, that they
Yeah.
would
Poison them or
poison
something.
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they do it in front of a million cameras where everybody can see and dissect it? It's like, I
Makes no
don't think
sense.
that a real hit like that would not be done in such a way. You want to make it as plausible as possible that it was not a murder, right? So
And now you got
this
Candace Owens
was
to go back to her. She got her saying that she was visited him by a dream and that he told her that she's right and she needs to keep going. And people bought that too. That's how cooked we are in the United States, at least. I don't know how many people watch her in Spain, but in the United States, people are going, I believe her dream is real. That makes sense to me. Like people actually believe that she had a dream and Charlie Kirk told her that everything she's saying is right and that she needs to keep poking and prodding and get the truth out there about Israel. Like, really? That's really what we're going with now?
it's just insane, but like she's talking about all kinds of crazy shit, like the Macron stuff. I mean, that's just nutty shit. I mean, the
Oh,
Macron.
with his wife, with the what's up, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting sued now.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to happen because I mean that's pretty. It's a pretty intense
She's
thing to throw
willing
at
to go
somebody.
broke. Like, is she really willing to go broke to make the claim that this person's a transsexual? Like, even if this person is a transsexual, like, I'm not willing to go broke just to
No,
prove it. Like, I don't really give a damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about how Fuentes is an interesting character? He's fascinating to watch. What are your thoughts on him? Because you guys align with a lot of things, and even though you'd probably disagree with him on a lot of things too, but you
Yeah.
two overlap in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't watch him. I mean, I don't consume a lot of alt media content like thoroughly. I see clips,
Yeah, that's exactly
but
what I do. I
I
don't go to his channel to watch him. I'm just watching what gets thrown at me when I'm on Twitter. But I
right.
see you can get enough of what's going on through that. You know,
Mm. Yeah, we aligned some stuff. I think I mean, I put out a post today. I'll show it to you in a second. Um, we obviously align on stuff, but there's some stuff I don't sign off on. Like, I think
sure,
Groiperism is more or less like a Catholic cult.
yeah.
So you have to be Catholic to be in. I've interacted with some of them, and they're really pushy with that. It's like I was born and raised Catholic, and that is part of my background. But
So was I actually Roman Catholic.
I kind of fell off that religious bandwagon. I mean, I don't think I was truly ever that
Every
serious.
Catholic does that.
Yeah.
That's the Catholic way. You get confirmed and then you walk out and never go back unless you go to Christmas and Easter maybe. That's it.
Right.
That's Catholicism, baby. You're saved. You got baptized. You're in. You're in heaven. It's the greatest thing ever.
Right. Yeah. So that I mean, you have to be a super serious Catholic to really get into that movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I
but
noticed what I really like about you though is that you are going at both sides on there's no you're not just looking at the left. You're going after people that you think on the right deserve it too. Like you're keeping a balance going. Like you're making everybody.
yeah.
People need to think before they post because you might get a response from you. You might have a reply from someone,
Right.
and that's
You
good.
might get
Whatever,
might get a little zinger from me.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I see
Yeah. I don't
you go after
know.
some of my friends, and I'm like, whoa, dude, this guy's going after. But it's all good, It's just social media. It's what it's for, you know.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think it would be just completely boring for me to just do that whole anti SJW bit.
Right.
Paul Watson. Every video is the exact same. Like that. That's like
Like you're
what's
on a
his
team or
name?
something. It feels weird. Doesn't feel right.
Who's that guy? Dice? I forget his
Andrew
name.
Dice, yeah. They're all from
No,
they're
Mark
all
Dice.
from. Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of Mark Dice too. Yeah, Andrew Dice is the
Yeah.
comedian, dumbass.
So
Mark Dice, yeah.
when you look at Mark Dice and PJW, like every video seems like it's the same thing to me. It's like SJW cringe. See it like Mark Dice has built this whole niche and he's made a good grift out of it, right? Like he's just critiquing CNN clips, the CNN libs. But it's like I
Right.
don't even watch CNN. Like I don't even know what they're saying. I don't care what they're saying. It's not even on my radar. So yeah, I have a little bit of a niche going where I critique a lot the alternative media, maybe even more than the mainstream because I don't really watch the mainstream.
Right.
So I'll look at what Candace says, what Tucker says, and what Fuentes says, and and even in the Wignat stuff, like some of those people, and see what they're saying and see if it matches up with reality. I think if you're only skeptical of the mainstream, you become gullible and you could be easily duped into a cult, and a lot of people fall into it. They just
Yeah.
believe whatever Candace Owens says, believe whatever Nick Fuentes says, believe whatever these influencers say, and a lot of what they say is just wrong.
Yeah.
So we have to be skeptical of a lot of these people.
I noticed
But
another
I'll give
thing.
them.
I just
I'll
want
give
to
them. Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say another thing I noticed that you are also aware of and putting it, kind of like addressing is this whole obsession with Nazi Germany, with Hitler, to the point where nobody even wants to. There's no bias, or there's no nuance anymore. Like it's almost like a religion. This is like a new Christ, a new perfect, like a new faith in a way. Like you can't criticize. Like you point out, like dude, he killed Poles, he killed he killed other white people, he invaded France. I mean, like, don't we care about France anymore? Like, and it's a good point that you're bringing up there to these people, and I'm curious how that is playing out right now. You probably get a lot of hate for that too.
Oh yeah, I mean that I kicked the hornets and nest with that one, man.
Yeah.
Like that, those people are fanatics. Like they're totally fanatical. It is a cult. There's no question. It's like attacking Stalin and have the tankies and the commies come at you. But it's a similar type of cult, right? This guy can do no wrong. He's a saint. Everything he did was good. If you criticize anything he did, you're a piece of shit. And what's so ridiculous is like even within that party there were disagreements. People going, some people tried to assassinate him within the party, right?
Right. Yeah. Or
The
how about
Valkyrie
in
operation.
1945 when he was losing it and he decided that let's just kill all the Germans with myself. Let's end it all. And that isn't good. That's not something I want to follow. I'm not trying to like no. Like if you want, like, look, we can have a nuanced conversation. I'm not afraid of the word Hitler. I'm not like you can't talk about him in any positive light at all. I don't care. Like, I'm a historian type of person. Let's talk about it. Let's have a nuanced discussion. What do you think he did right? But also let's also be honest about the things he did wrong or like the things that he was not good at. right? Isn't that simple? Isn't that just such a simple
Yeah,
thing that we should do?
I mean that's why I started to do it because I was noticing it's a cult. These people are just glazing the guy 24/7, and I knew this isn't fully thought out. I mean, there was some mass shootings that occurred. The Einsatzgruppen, yeah, the Nero decree. He at the end of the war, he's like, let's just light it all up. Let's just if I'm going down, everybody's coming down with me. He was a total like narcissist in that sense. He says the German people failed me. He said they lost the test of history, and the stronger Eastern nation beat us, so we deserve to perish. That was like his social Darwinism coming out, and that's
Damn,
insane. I mean, you
that's
can't even call him pro-German at that point. He's not pro-German. He's pro-German insofar as they're doing what he wants, and they do, and then they win, and they accomplish what his goals for him. But as soon as they lose, so his love is conditional. It's not unconditional.
that's a good point.
So bringing all that out, I mean, somebody needed to fucking do it because nobody was willing to do
No one.
it. You get clout immediately if you jump on that bandwagon immediately.
If you share one of
You-
those like videos that are recolorized with the music and it's
yeah,
got them in doing the marches, boom, that's
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah.
viral, baby. That's a big.
Dude.
I see a lot of those on Twitter now.
You
It's,
could just you can make a total AI account, all AI slop of Nazi shit, and I don't know, the algorithm loves it. It's
loves
ridiculous.
it.
Like Elon Musk has rigged the
It loves
algorithm.
Christianity and Nazi. That's the two things that it loves.
Maybe that thing, Elon when he did the thing at that speech, did you see he did the salute?
Yeah,
Maybe it's legit. Maybe he's totally just rigged the algorithm. He's a secret NS.
maybe makes sense.
But yeah, those guys are vicious though. Like they're like some of the Christians when because Adam Green's kind of dealt with that. Criticizing Christianity, they'll viciously
Oh,
assail you, attack you, slander you. It's the
follow
same
you
with
around the
them.
internet with like pictures of
Yeah,
you with like a Jewish face, like a AI version of yourself or something. That's all. Adam gets a lot of that. I get that too, by the way, but Adam gets way more than that.
yeah. And these people are mentally ill. Like they can't deal with the argument, so they can only attack the person. It's the same with the Hitler cult, the Putin cult. Um, yeah, so somebody need to push back on that. Too many young kids are getting sucked into it,
Did you get
and
called Jewish for doing that? I'm
yeah,
sure
I
you
mean
did. Yeah,
they call you brown,
yeah.
Mexican, whatever. Like
Or there's
you're
those
so
right. You're brown with the wrong your spelling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you become brown. That's the thing. You're white when you're in it. Because I used to kind of be in those circles. Oh, we accept you as white when you're in it, but then when you have some critiques of it, some legitimate critiques of it from a right wing perspective, because obviously my critique is like he's not really pro white. He's a Germanic imperialist. That's not the same criticism as like some libtard saying like nationalism's bad or something, right?
Yeah,
So they're pretending not to see the nuance of the critique. But
right.
yeah, the
But it's like a
viciousness is
spiritual
insane.
metaphysics in a way because it's not physical anymore. It's not you're not talking about skin color or ethnicity anymore. You're talking about you're metaphysically a brown person now. You're spiritually a brown person now because you said something I don't like. Seriously, like you don't like Christianity, you're brown, or you're Jewish because Jews don't like Christianity
Mhm.
too. Something like that. Yeah, I've noticed
Right,
it.
it's the same thing with the Christianity. Right? If you criticize Christianity, you're Jewish. But then, as Adam points out,
Get
Jesus
worship.
is Jewish, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's incoherent. It's
it's
it's the same with the Hitler cult.
it's
It's
retarded.
totally incoherent.
It's retarded,
I
man.
mean, that's yeah. I called out Gypsy Crusader on this. I said, "You worship Hitler. You're pushing the Hitler cult." Yeah, Hitler didn't like gypsies, did he? He put them in camps. I mean, he put out the Gypsy Plague decree. Himmler did. Why are you promoting a thing that wants you dead,
Did
man?
he
Like,
respond?
no, he
I'm curious
totally
what he thinks
ignored it.
about that because you're right. I saw that I think I saw it from you, man. I saw a clip of him from looked like a years ago. Like he sounded different the way he was talking. He's a lot more confident today. He's a lot more in your face. You could see he's got some he's got some more swag now, I guess if you will. But in this video clip that I saw, he's a little more reserved. He's like, "I'm a gypsy," and those blah, blah. And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's why his name is Gypsy Crusader." I was like, and I guess if I was to steel man him and why he would still Heil Hitler or why he would still you know, act like that is like in the same way as atheists would say "Hail Satan." They don't believe in Satan, but they're not scared to say it because they're trying to get in the face of Christians. And in a way, maybe he's just throwing at like that's why the joke he's like a joker. Like he's just throwing at the most absurd kind of a way of that would make sense that he's not being contradicting himself, you know. That's the only thing I can think of.
He's on the previous clip saying that the Nazis persecuted gypsies. Like he said that,
Yeah, yeah,
and then so he knows exactly the truth, but he's now pretending that's not the truth because he wanted to get in on the LARP, and he just realized it was great clickbait. That's it. It's just purely monetary at this point. He's making money off. It's like his job, so like he
yeah,
can't. If he tweaks that even a little bit, he loses the audience, right? It's like when I tweaked that, I lost a lot of my audience. But it's like if he did it, that's his entire bit. It's like at least when
that's
I
true.
was doing that, I wasn't totally like obsessed with that. Like I was just me. But then like sometimes I would post about that. But him, it's just like the entire act is like without that, he's got the swastikas and all of it. And
Yeah.
so the audience goes away. I mean, if he goes to just being normal, he can't because it's all a show. It's all an act, right? It's a Jerry Springer LARP.
And
But
it's
what do
hard
you what
to
do you think about that stuff though? Like,
well, it's hard to actually point the finger and say you're just doing that as a grift because and I'm just being real here because I could never imagine getting on a stream and acting like that. I couldn't. I can imagine someone jumping on a stream and grifting like Christianity or something because or liberalism. Everyone's a liberal. You can totally suck people in, but like you have to have some kahunas to jump on a stream and start calling people the N word and I guess it works. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work. So obviously for him it worked. For other people it worked as well. But like, it's hard to be like, oh, he's doing that for a grift because when he started doing that, did he think, oh, this is definitely going to make me money? No, you're probably thinking I'm going to get canceled if I do this, but let's do it anyway. So it's for me, he took a big risk, which is kind of like I don't know how much I can call it a grift at that point. Maybe now he's just doing it for because it's so successful, as you point out. Now he's got a model. Now he's going to rock it out. I don't blame him for that. But to start doing that I don't know if I can say he's doing it for a grift at the beginning. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe at the beginning it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what transitioned him into that. I didn't follow him, so I don't know exactly how he jumped
Yeah,
on
I don't
that.
know how he started that either.
But
I
he
think I
he
discovered
was
him like a year ago.
he was like a MAGA guy, like a MAGA conservative. He identified as a gypsy like 3 or 4 times in clips. He is. I mean, he is. That's what he is. That was his identity. So the disconnect there is incredible. Like he's a gypsy, knows he's a gypsy, identifies as a gypsy, knows the Nazis are against gypsies, and yet he's
He's
promoting Nazism. Like
he's like
his whole family would be
yep,
deported if Nazis came to power in America. He would be deported if
he'd be done
Nazis
for.
came to power.
I mean,
And the
he's
thing
lower
is,
than the
like,
Poles. Gypsies are lower than the Poles in the eyes of the Germans.
100%.
They're not even
And
white. I don't think they're like Indian or
right,
something like ethnically. So
right.
yeah, that's
So
what.
and well, look, the thing is, like, a few years ago when I was doing the Amigo bit, he like one of the reasons he got arrested, I think, was because like these actual Nazis were going at him, like they were stalking him because they don't accept him, right? They said you're a gypsy, you cannot be a Nazi, you have to be. Well, I mean, some of them even raised the bar. You have to be Northwestern European. You have to be Nordic. You have to be pure
Right.
Germanic.
Pan, yeah.
Uh, and and so they were going at him back then, and they were stalking him. They were threatening him. There was so much stuff I saw floating around Telegram. They were like they were making videos outside his house. Like they wanted to kill this guy because they're like, you're not white and you can't. And they saw him dating a white woman, and they don't want that, right? So I think they had something to do with him being arrested. I think they probably tipped off the feds to him or something like that.
I wonder when he was in prison because when I was in prison, I hung out with the neo Nazis. You have to when you're white. I went to state prison. I don't know if did I tell you this. People who follow me know this. When I was in my early 20s, I went to prison for possession of pills and stuff like that. I was totally degenerate in
Hmm.
my early 20s. Not anymore. I'm 35, 36 now. So it's been 16 years.
Run a background check,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Go no. I tell them to do it all the time. I'm open with all my shit. So
Yeah.
when I went in there, you don't have a choice. You hang with your kind, dude. You hang with your kind. I'm playing cards with people with swastikas and stuff. That's just the way New York State Prison is. I wonder if that's what happened with him. He goes to prison. He might have, because he kind of looks like a white guy. He looks a little dark, I guess. But if he didn't tell anyone he's a gypsy, they might think he's Italian or something. He might have
Right.
been better off with the white people than with like Mexicans or blacks. And maybe that's how he started acting like, I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess there was a transition from the MAGA to that. I don't know exactly how he picked up on that, but there's definitely some kind of weird self deception going on because you can see clips where he's identifying as a gypsy, but then you see these other clips where he's like, "I'm Spanish, I'm Italian." Like he just denies the gypsy identity now, but like his own brother came out and says like the
Oh,
whole
he
family is
does. I
gypsy.
didn't know he. I didn't know he denies it. I thought he was just like saying, "Yeah, I don't care." That's
Well,
interesting.
sometimes he does, but like when random people ask him what's your ethnicity, he says he doesn't say gypsy anymore. He says it's Spaniard. He says the parts like I guess he's a little bit mixed, so he says the parts that are not gypsy, right? So there's some kind of self deception going. It's like an identity crisis, man. Like,
I used to do that when I was
I,
younger. When I was younger, people because I'm Polish, German, Italian, and a little bit of French actually. And people used to ask me what and I'd always just say I'm German and Italian. I would leave out Polish, and I would just be like, yeah, I don't know why. I don't even hate Polish people or anything. That was just when I did when I was younger. I don't know. Maybe it's just like he just wants to throw that out for some reason. But yeah.
but because he wants to be a Nazi, like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
you can't be a gypsy Nazi. So, but
I started seeing clips of him and HT around the same time about a year ago. And I was just like, I couldn't believe how Twitter got to this point where I'm just floating through the internet, scrolling around, and all of a sudden I'm watching these Omegle bits. And I think
yeah,
that's when I started seeing clips of you too around that time too, actually. But you debated some big people, right? You debated like Vosh, right? Or something like that.
yeah, I've watched Destiny. Those guys,
Yeah. So I
most
knew
of
who you
them.
were before that, actually.
Yeah, I used to do some trolling on Omegle, but even when I was doing that, it was kind of like Red Pill Rage Phase 2.0. It was like during the BLM riots, and I was like, "Fuck it,
Mhm.
let's just go at these black people and let's just hammer them." So it was a mistake because like there's some edgy clips and it's kind of not great optics, and I think we should
Right.
be more mature and I think we need to be serious, but
That's how I'm at. Yeah.
what was it? I was doing that, but like 80% of my stuff was like real debates. Like I was really trying to change people's opinions. I was just refuting left wing arguments and stuff. And
Right.
like so, most of those I can still use those clips, and I do, but I just edit out any kind of slurs or whatever. And and yeah, so about 80% of my stuff was legit debate, but like 90% of their stuff, 95% is just pure slop. It's just you're an N word, you're a piece of shit. You're gonna pull out the gun. We're gonna kill you, man. So that's just entertainment, man. Like,
It
do you
gets
see that
played out
going
after a while.
anywhere?
That like kind of like routine of the same kind of um even HT even says that. Even HT says, I don't know how much I'm going to keep doing the whole bit where I was like, really? That's your thing? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not going to keep doing that. So even he knows that it's not like they know that. But
Well,
it
he
does
can't
work.
stop
But
because
it
it's
does
it's
work
just
though. It works. It's going to get
yeah,
clicks. It's
yeah. But
such
it's
a
like Jerry
shocking thing for
Springer.
people to see, you know?
It's just Jerry Springer. It's like Jerry Springer was the most popular show on television for a reason because it
Right.
was such slop shit. It was just the most ridiculous, over the top,
Right.
midget tranny incest rape babies. Like these kind of situations. It's like shocking shit gets eyeballs, but it doesn't really move the goalpost forward. I mean, no liberal person is going to watch that and be convinced to
No.
be like right wing. Is like they can watch like an intellectual clip where like even like a Charlie Kirk type debate stuff, one of
Yes.
my older debate clips, and see you destroying left wing arguments with logic, and that will convince a liberal person to
Yes.
switch. but not just pointing the N-word gun and going,
Well, it's the same thing on the left when you see the blue-haired feminist types that are like completely screaming or you're a what, you're a white male. And like that's not going to convince someone on the right to you're right, I am a white male. Let me stop what I'm doing. Like no. You got to be like if you really want to change people's minds, you have to do some sort of give and take, some sort of nuanced discussion has to happen. So it's kind of like
yeah,
it's kind of just like what they're doing isn't. I don't even think they're trying to change minds. They're just trying to show. They're just trying to break the ice and make a new. I'm making this normal now. I think that's like the goal of like HT and GC is not to change minds on the left. It's to just break the ice and be so out there with it that like there's you're gonna move the Overton window. Like what is normal today is gonna shift because we're gonna go so extreme with it. Now the new normal probably falls somewhere in the middle. You know, I can see why they're doing it.
it's it's a new normal on the internet, but it's
That's
never
true.
going to be a new normal in in mainstream
That's
politics.
a very good point, actually. Good
No
point. Point
politics
taken.
is gonna start throwing out N words at their political opponent.
Can you imagine a
Like,
presidential debate where that started happening?
right, like we're gonna hang him, man. So that's I mean that's winning over just the converted people who are already into the edgy stuff. And I mean none of those people have political ambitions, and like they don't that's why their whole mantra is there's no political solution. That's the whole Wignat mantra, right?
Well, that's why.
It's like
That's what the Joker is about. The
yeah,
Joker cares what politician wins. So in a way, he's not really being contradictory as the Joker. He's kind of just playing the part as a Joker. You know, I kind of I don't
right, but
know.
if there's no solutions, then what are they doing? I mean, there's no point in even talking about politics if there's no solutions. This is why they're always pushing chaos, accelerationism. We need to make things worse to get better. You know, yeah, we do want Mom Donnie to win in New York, but that bit is so played out. Like these guys have been saying that for the past 5 years, and where's their revolution? Where's the acceleration? Where is this race war? Don't see it. I mean, the closest thing you had to that was the BLM riots, and that
Yeah,
didn't turn into a race war. So these guys are just grifting off of people's nihilism
I just thought
and
about it though. What if that
blackmailing
happened
them.
today? What if that 2014 era BLM riot when they went and destroyed all those buildings? Imagine if that happened today, right where now when the right is sort of heating up. The I don't know. Maybe something might happen today. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't think so because like the alt right took off in 2016. The BLM riots were 2020. So I think Trump won in 2016, right? The first one.
Yeah, but
So the
wasn't there one right before like Michael Brown or something got killed, and there was like a big one that happened before. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Trayvon Martin.
yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different. Maybe I'm getting times mixed up. But either way, when I don't know when the worst one was. I think you're right. I think it was 2020 when the worst riots were happening in was it Baltimore or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But if that happened today, I wonder if there would be a response now from some of these more militant neo-Nazi rightists, or would that show everyone that their movement really isn't that real? Are they really just
Yeah.
on the internet? You know, that's how we would know. If one of those riots happened today and there was no response, we would know
Mhm.
this is just an internet thing. This isn't real. But
Mhm.
if they did show up and there was some sort of battle in the streets between Antifa and these neo Nazis, then we would know, holy shit's getting real.
I mean, there's been some fights like that. I've seen some skirmishes, but
Yeah,
nothing approaching a revolutionary race
race war.
war. A day of the rope, man. Turner Diaries, like this is their whole thing. So like they're just trying to tell people just forget about politics. You can't win. You can't fix it. So what's their solution? Well, their solution is to go and build this tiny town and some some nothing village and build up a little enclave or something. But that's cool to do, but that's not going to change politics. It's not going to change immigration policy. That's not going
That
to
was
change
actually the
anything. Really.
believe it or not, that was actually the earliest Christian mentality. Like I'm not talking about fourth
Mm,
century Constantine issues Christianity across the empire. I'm not talking about that Christianity. I'm talking about
mm,
late first, early second century Christians. When the sources that we have, their mentality was to just drop out of society, Like the Romans
Mhm.
have us, we don't even care about the Rome. Drop out of society, start your own little communal little area, and then live amongst yourselves and act like little communist little communes. It's interesting that you're seeing that happening today with people like Airval, sort of adopting that mentality in a way. What do you think about Airval? I like
Yeah.
Airval.
Yeah, I didn't follow him before I saw some of those clips. I mean, it's he's sort of basing that off of the Orania thing in South Africa, right?
Yeah,
But that's actually a work that in South Africa they actually have that city, so it's definitely possible to create an enclave. But I haven't seen anything that's even approaching anything as advanced as Orania anywhere else. It's a massive project. I mean, you have to be totally committed to living in this tiny town and
yeah.
building it from scratch and starting up businesses. I mean, it's almost like a full lifetime commitment.
You would
Uh,
need laborers who know they're not going to really get paid off for a while. They're going to be like working their
yeah,
asses off, underpaid for a long time before anything gets good. You need some
yeah, it's like
some
homesteading,
dedication. Yeah.
and so you have to be fully committed to that. And I just, I mean, it's not going to change national politics. The only way to change national politics is to contest national politics, to get into it, and to run candidates for office and try to win local seats and maybe governorships and then move on from there. But these guys think there's no political solution, so their thing is let's just break away. You know, it's the breakaway civilization. But I don't think that's really a solution if you still believe in the country as a whole, because you have to stop immigration, you have to deport people. All of that requires government power.
And
So
you're actually
yeah,
giving more power to the other side by dropping out. You're basically leaving
mm,
everything to their devices and giving. You're just gonna. If anything, you're gonna get if you even if you get your enclave. Now the urban cities and the major economic centers are all controlled by the exact opposite of you because you're gone. You're not there to even influence anything anymore. So
hmm
it'd be like a
yeah.
weird give and take. And if you think about it,
Well, the leftists are so organized. Like they have political parties, they got unions, movements, and they're
academia,
always
they got
yeah,
the
they're always
biggest one,
contesting power.
academia. That's it. That's the biggest one. you know,
They're always trying to contest power. They're always trying to get into local school boards and whatever it is, counselors, governors, mayors, all of it. They're always contesting power, the leftists. So if we don't do that, then we totally lose. Um, but that's why I moved away from the schizo accelerationism, because one, it wasn't going anywhere. There was no revolution. I don't see it. And in Europe, that's impossible. There's no guns in Europe. Nobody's got guns in Europe.
yeah, it's
So
more
how are
an
you going to do a
American thing.
revolution, man? You can't do a revolution with fucking sticks and bats and stuff. So the closest thing we've
Can you?
seen to a revolution in Europe is Maidan in Ukraine, and that didn't result in some totally new system. They just had a new election and two new elections. So
Europe's
there's
been pretty
no
much the same since Napoleon, in a way, as far as like
yeah
classical liberal, like the Napoleonic Codex sort of took over everything, and it's never it
right.
hasn't really there hasn't really been much besides like World War I, World War II. Obviously, there's wars. I'm not saying there's not like big changes, but the way Europe is still kind of the Napoleon. We're still living under Napoleon's world in a way, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in between there, you had some dictatorships, you had some monarchies, you had
Sure.
Hitler, Franco, Mussolini. But even those guys, I mean, I think only Franco was the example where he sparked a civil war and took power through a war. But Hitler came to power in an election, and then he basically like used the Reichstag fire to ban all the other parties. Right? It was a very opportunistic thing. But even he had to go through electoral system. So that's why I tell people we just have these electoral systems. We have to play this game right now. That's all we got. There's no other game to play. This is just no other game. And someone like Viktor Orban's a good example. He's been successful. He keeps getting reelected. He's kind of doing authoritarian democracy where he rigs the system for his own advantage. Like he'll use his governmental power to kind of undermine his opponents. So he's a good example of like a right wing nationalist conservative that has governed pretty well in Europe, and it's definitely possible. And politics are moving to the right. You have AFD, Le Pen, Farage, Trump.
Right.
So things are moving in the correct direction. We just have to have good people, smart people get into the right positions.
And then I really, one of the things I think about all the time is academia, because a lot, notice, like, more often than not, people on the right are more likely to reject academia, reject mainstream science or whatever. They might be more religious, whatever the reason is. More than not, I'm not saying that they're all. I'm not saying everyone on the right's idiots. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you took a poll of people on the left, people on the right, I'm not talking about IQ or who's smarter or who's more intelligent. I'm just talking about like their trust in academia. I think more often than not, people on the right are less trustworthy of academia. They don't trust climate science. They don't trust whatever. And the lefts, and that's so that in that case, the left in a way has academia in their back pocket because it serves them more. And I wonder if that can ever change for the right. If the right could ever become more academically minded and start taking seriously like peer reviewed journals and peer reviewed articles and books and really start taking over academics uh setting. I don't know, man. That could be that. I think no one talks about that enough. If you think about it, academia has a huge influence over all types of things.
Yeah, march through the institutions, just right wing Gramsci. So that would be great. But yeah, like you said though, like right wingers tend to not be into academics. They tend to be going into trades, getting into some of those technical fields, and but we don't have the representation. And academia is what brainwashes everybody to be left wing and be liberal. It's the
Yeah,
same in Spain. All the universities are left wing. I mean,
it's
there's
social pressure too. I mean, I was in college. I remember you start just at, you don't even know it. You don't even notice it. You just start talking like them. You just want to fit in, and it's the social pressure thing is real. Like you'll be before you know it, you'll be talking about your white privilege. You'll be talking like, you know what I mean? It's just like it's a crazy thing that happens when people go to college. They get socially pressured to act and sort of say things that they might not have said in their home setting before they got to college. You know?
yeah, in Spain, all the far left politicians were professors before they
Yeah.
became politicians, and they're all hooked in with academia. That's where they all come from. I mean, academia is notoriously left wing,
Yep.
especially political science.
Yeah.
There's some right wing professors in Spain, though.
Oh
They've
yeah.
fascinatingly, Spain has a big right wing sector movement. I mean, you had like Franco, you got like these old boomer Spaniards nostalgia for Franco, and you got like the tomb where he's buried and stuff. But I think those guys, like the ones in other countries, they're a little bit too stuck in the past, right? They're kind of just want to resurrect something from the past. Like they want to go back to Franco, but he's dead. I mean, it's too divisive an issue in Spain, I think, to really lean into that because Franco did kill quite a few left wing Spaniards, and so their families are like never going to forgive that, you know. So like to just hold them up as a symbol, it's super divisive in Spain, and not all Spaniards will ever get on board with that. The same with the Hitler thing. It's like Czechs, Poles, Russians, none of them are ever gonna like cheerlead for Hitler, right? So trying to shove that down everyone's throat is stupid. Um,
Yeah. And
yeah.
that seems to be a problem for right leaning institutions in general. Is they're always looking backwards at bringing back
Mm,
something from the resurrecting something that's already dead, rather than like
right.
looking forward. Right.
Exactly. Like I see these people in Spain, like the old guard, like the right wing in Spain. They very much just try to do a resurrection LARP. It's Falange. They put the blue uniforms on. Phalanges, Jose Antonio, man, and but that that's old news, and they never do. But these guys run in elections, and they lose every time. Like they've not won. Like the Falange party in Spain has not won a single seat like anywhere for 50 years,
They even get close.
and nowhere they haven't even won like a local seat in like a mayor.
Yeah,
Nothing. They always
who's
they
donating to them then?
just dipshits, man. Like just the larpers, bro. It's like Confederates. It's like it's literally like the American cosplay Confederates trying
Yeah.
to resurrect that. And it's like, dude, you guys are just so out of touch. That's never gonna be super popular. I mean, that'll always be fringe, always be niche. And I guess it's fun. I just use the Franco thing to troll leftists sometimes on Omegle. But if I'm going to be running for politics, I'm not going to be just like wearing Falange shit. I don't even agree with some of their stuff. But they're just looking to the past. The same with the neo Nazis, just looking to the past. But you have to just come up with a new program that appeals to more people than just boomer nostalgists, and skinheads. Like, and you can have this all the same positions, just socially conservative, pro-white, against globalism, against mass immigration. You can have all those points. You make great arguments to oppose globalism, and just don't wrap it up in some dumb shit.
Right. Yeah. It sounds simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, like in America, like what's like, you see those Confederate nostalgias still
Yeah.
trying
Oh
to
yeah.
hold down? Like,
Oh yeah. I live in Florida. It's the South is still it's still the South down here. They still have that spirit for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like they're I guess it's the same. I guess that makes sense. That sounds like you. That's a good comparison. What you're talking about is the Confederates over here.
yeah, like who if you're an American and you run for office and you just whip out some Confederate shit, like you're just gonna piss off all the people in the North, like anyone who's got family who maybe died in the Civil War.
It's not changing
It's
anyone's
not gonna.
mind.
Yeah, like it's pointless. If you truly like are running for national politics, you're not running for a separate breakaway movement. Like, you're running for national politics. You want the country to be united. So you have to think about that and adjust the message accordingly. Same with these Spaniards, just have all these slogans, dude. They're the right wing ones. There's like the El Régimen de 78, what they're talking about, like the fall of the Franco regime, and they want to just go back. You can say that all day long. It's not going to just manifest, man. Like, you have to deal with what we have now, and there's one right wing party that has they're the third largest party now in Spain. They have tons of seats in the parliament, and they basically avoided all that controversial stuff. Like, they're just like anti mass immigration. They're anti feminist. They hit all the culture issues. They're kind of civ natty a little bit. They don't just talk about race stuff. Race stuff's not that popular in Spain, but they're sufficiently right wing, and they've had a lot of success. Just like Marine Le Pen in France, Orban in Hungary, like they've kind of figured out the game. And these, yeah,
Is the game just trying to win over the normies? Is that really what it is? Like you got two sides, and they're trying. One's more to the right, but in the center. The other one's more to the left, but in the center. And they're both just trying to win over the most normies. And like you have like you mentioned, these people who are like the neo Confederates, all the way on the far right, not winning anyone over, not winning anything, not winning any elections. They're just kind of just there. And the same thing happens in the far left with the socialist Marxist types that are just like, we won't even budge. Everyone needs health care. Everyone needs this. Everyone needs that. Or we're not gonna. There's you know no compromise at all. And then when no one that wins nothing over. And really, what happens is you end up with just two classical liberal parties, two liberal parties actually, just trying to win over the most normies. And it's every election is just who can win the most normies over for this time for the
right. But
next
I,
4 years.
I'm not saying we should just do it to win over Normans. I'm saying we should have all the positions that we have
Right.
and win over new people to the arguments. You can even talk about remigration. Like, the Vox party in Spain has on their platform remigration. Like, they're saying they're going to deport criminals and illegals, and all that, and it's like in their party platform. So that's definitely moving the Overton
Yes.
window. So I'm not
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
saying we should
That's a
water everything down and like just become some kind of centrist. No, I'm saying we should keep the core positions, that they're quite, maybe not like fucking schizo far right, but pretty far right, and just present them in a way that's palatable. And I think win
That's
over
true.
even left wing liberal people, left wing people. Tell them why diversity's shit. Tell them why mass immigration is bad, and you can win them over. But if you wrap yourself up in Confederate flags, Nazi flags, phalanges, it's not. You're losing potential converts there. I think.
Yeah. It makes you think about, because like even right now with Trump in office, he's doing this whole thing with ICE and trying to get out illegal immigration, and it seems to be happening. But then you also hear reports that actually the number of people he deported is not even the same as Obama or something. I think I heard something like that. I don't know if it's true, but then it makes you wonder. It's like, are they just saying this shit to people because they to get votes and then not doing what they're saying and just trying to? Is that another way to win the game? I don't know. It's a whole nother, just like lying to
Well,
people.
if they don't do what they say, then hold them accountable for sure.
Right, right.
Um, but Trump, I don't know what the numbers are, but he's definitely totally shut down people coming in.
Coming in. That's
So the
true.
border
That's
the
true.
border has been totally like sealed off, and they are doing deportations. I don't know how quickly they are. As far as the Obama numbers, I don't know. I've heard people try to refute that, saying those numbers were like they were the way that they were counting them. It's not quite comparable, but I'd have to go look into what the numbers are. But it appears they are deporting people. It's just not like millions of people immediately, right?
I mean, they put that director of ICE, I forgot his name right now, the bigger gentleman. They threw him right in front on and I mean, everyone knows his face. Everyone knows what he's doing. That to me is like that's something that's never happened before in a long time, at least, where you have in a policy in America, you have the president being like, okay, you're the director of ICE. I need you to go out, shut down immigration, and start deporting all the illegals. That is like, this is in a way unprecedented in a way, you know. I mean, is anything like that in Spain happening at all? Is there any politicians even trying to do that over there, or is this just an American thing right now?
Yeah, no, like the Spanish Vox Party, I said that they want to do remigration similar,
Yeah,
um, but the current government is leftist. The current government's the Socialist Party. They're left wing. They're just pushing this pro Palestine thing right now. They're doing an embargo on Israel. And that's funny. I always bring that up to piss off the Jew schizos. Like they think they run everything. I'm like, come to Spain. They don't run shit here because the left wingers in power, they hate Israel. Like the vice president in Spain went on television and said Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. She's a
yeah,
communist party member. Like we all know the communists hate Zionism because they say it's racism. So, like in Spain, we just don't have that same lobby that you guys have there.
yeah.
There's not even
Everyone, yeah, our left
close.
and right over here is all pro-Israel. I mean, there's
Yeah,
obviously some politicians that aren't pro-Israel, but they don't
yeah.
do
Ilan
much.
Omar.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that. They don't really do much,
Mm.
though. They're not just a drop in the bucket against the big force of the Israel lobby in America. It's big. It's big, and everyone knows it, and everyone just is okay with it for some reason. Like we have all these
Right?
senators and governors who have dual citizenship of the United States, and you know,
Do they have dual citizenship?
is that one of the things that you were addressing that isn't as true as people
No,
say?
I just never looked
I
into it.
think there's a lot of them, but I think not everyone, obviously not the whole entire. Not
Like,
every single senator, but no, there's
can you
definitely like
have
Chuck
dual
Schumer. Chuck
citizenship?
Schumer, I'm almost positive has dual citizenship. Um,
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, there's some simple fixes to that. Just ban dual citizens from government, ban foreign lobbies, and you got no more Israel lobby, right? Like I've said that to people.
you would think it's that
Um,
simple, but it's who's going to do it?
right, but like there's all kinds of lobbies. So you got the oil lobby, you got the business lobby, you got the lawyers, teachers, unions, foreign nations like Israel, Qatar, Russia, China. All of them have lobbies. Now I would just ban all lobby
Yeah,
entirely. Like no lobbying, right? Politicians have to do what they say they're going to do, and that would solve that Israel infiltration issue. But I just tell people that's an American thing. That's not the reality in Europe. Like Spain, the Jewish population of Spain is 15,000. I looked up the
that's it.
billionaires list. There was, yeah, it's
15,000.
tiny.
What's
Yeah,
the
I mean
total population of Spain?
It's like over 40 million.
There's nobody.
Yeah,
You probably
it's
won't even run into Jews at all, and when you're living in Spain.
never.
Wow,
Never. I mean, they just don't even exist. Like they were expelled in 1492. They never recovered
that's right.
their
That's right. I
population.
forgot about that. Yeah.
And like the Spanish government was actually trying to give passports to Sephardic Jews to get them to come to Spain to help the economy because the economy was so shit a few years ago. But not many came. And the government, the leftists are pro Palestine, which is proof that they don't have power here, right?
Yeah.
So
By
so
the way,
yeah, I just tell
I
people
asked
there's
Chat. Just I just
yeah.
wanted to fact check myself because I sometimes I say shit that I don't even know. Uh, I looked up how many U.S. I'm just asking ChatGPT 5. Just this could be wrong, but I asked how many U.S. senators in Congress have dual citizenship in the U.S. and Israel. It says there is no verified public record of any U.S. senator or U.S.
Mm.
representative holding. So maybe I'm pushing
Yeah.
misinformation. I don't know. I'll have to look into
Yeah,
that further.
I figured that would be the case. I don't think you can have dual citizenship and get a security clearance, maybe in the Pentagon
Yeah.
or in the national security. Maybe you can in the Congress. I'm not sure, but
It says U.S. law
um,
does not explicitly prohibit a member of Congress from holding dual citizenship. However, citizenship status is rarely publicly confirmed. So it's not
right.
illegal. So it could be possible. I don't know. I have to look into that
Yeah, I
more.
mean, it's not even that much of a point because like you can have you can have somebody that's Jewish and is a Zionist and it's not a citizen of Israel, but they're pro-Israel, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you could
or Christians.
like someone like Chuck Schumer is clearly not.
Yeah.
He's clearly he has like he's clearly working with both sides. Clear.
Yeah, Ted Cruz or
Yeah,
some Christian.
especially Ted Cruz. Yeah, he's not even Jewish.
Well, Chuck Schumer's even was going at Netanyahu, wasn't he? Didn't he say Netanyahu should resign and stuff?
Yeah, they do that. I think that's a political move, though. Like because when you look at all of his positions and everything he votes for, it's always pro-Israel all the time. And then he'll come out and say some stuff to get all his voter bases to go, "Oh, look, he's one of us." That's one of the most like
Mm.
simple political moves you can do is you can say things and
Yeah.
then do the opposite. And it's so happens all the time, you know?
Yeah, he's one of those schizo liberal Jews that has like this double standard where he's like, we need open borders for America, but I'm not going to criticize Israel for
Closing their
having
borders.
closed borders. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, but then you have like
Napping.
Bernie Sanders, who's pretty critical of Israel sometimes. Maybe not like a crazy Marxist, but he's not full on like Hood or anything, right? So, and then you have like the left wing Jews like Blumenthal, Max Blumenthal, who's just like dedicated his life to fighting against Israel, right? So,
Yeah,
you got
that's true.
just like you have white liberals that
And then
are
you
against.
see him with leaked photos and videos of him doing weird sex shit. You ever seen that? No, well, no, I'm sorry, not Max Blumenthal. I'm thinking of another guy. I don't know. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. There was another anti-Israel
Glenn Greenwald,
Glenn
yeah.
Greenwald. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't mean
what
to.
a sick
Yeah,
son of a
that's
bitch.
crazy. You think that's what?
What a
What do you think
fucking
happened there?
freak, dude.
How did that end up happening? Well, I don't even know what happened there
Dude, he is so fucking insane.
because he's one of
That
the big
video.
anti-Israel guys, right?
Yeah, he's like a gay and Jewish and anti-Zionist. He's like a liberal, and he does BDSM sex acts where he's like licking the dude's foot and
Did he ever
sending the
say
money.
anything
Like
about this? Ever address it, or is he just like pretending it didn't happen?
he did address it, and then Nick Fuentes went on his show and didn't call him out.
No way. Are you serious? I didn't know this.
Yeah, there's straight fucking.
They were
There's
just
some
acting
weird shit
cool.
going
Is just
on.
acting cool with them the whole
Yeah,
time. Like, yeah,
yeah.
he probably
He's
does it
cool with
too.
him. He's cool with the Cat Boys. He's cool with Glenn Greenwald, BDSM.
What
So
about how those? I never seen this, but I've heard about this. That there was like more than once where Nick Fuentes' stream tranny porn would just turn on or something. Someone said something about that. Like he like clicked on something and he had like a window up or something. I'm not sure the details, but like someone in the comments might know.
yeah, no, I mean so he's claiming he got hacked. I mean, he probably did.
Israel
I mean,
hacked him. Throw tranny porn in
like
front of
it.
everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how. Oh no, there's two different things. So like one of the things was that he had tranny porn on his phone or something. Um, uh, Alex Jones actually did have tranny porn on his
That I
phone.
remember that. I remember that was
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
Alex Jones is literally I
And
believe
no
he's
one
probably
cares. No
banging
one everyone
trannies.
just lets it go.
Him and Blair White, they were way too close. They were cuddling
Whoa.
up. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude, Alex Jones is some closeted case, no doubt.
And then
Fuentes
with
could be
Nick
too.
and
I
then
mean,
with Nick, do you
there's
actually think he could have
yeah.
been hacked?
That they I think like on his stream there was like a some kind of hack where they played a video. I don't see how that would be him on his own computer. Like
Oh,
it
so
was some
someone sent
weird
him a link in
mashup
a super
video.
chat or something and he clicked on it? That's what it was?
I'm not sure. I think it could have been that or a hack. Like it was after the stream ended and then it came on.
Oh.
But I mean, you don't even need to use that. You got Ali Alexander, you got the Catboy,
Mhm.
Cammy stuff, right? You got all these other weird like that Schaefer guy, Elijah Schaefer. Like there's a clip of him of Fuentes talking to another guy, telling him that Schaefer was hitting on him, a kid, like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid
What?
at a bar. Yeah, and then Fuentes is like, yeah,
That
everybody
why he
knows
found
that
Jesus
guy's.
now?
Yeah, but the Fuentes said in that clip, he's like, yeah, everyone knows that guy's like gay, right?
Someone else told me that too. I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
But that type of stuff is all everyone's calling everyone gay all the time now. So I don't know. I usually don't listen too
Yeah,
much unless I'll see it
but
if I see
that
it
but
myself,
that's
I'll believe
like
it.
but that's direct evidence from a guy that was hit on by that guy, right? So
Yeah,
and then
you're probably right.
Ali
I'm not saying
Alexander,
you're wrong. You're probably right.
Ali Alexander is absolutely a fucking pedophile, man.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That's weird. He's weird looking too. I'm not
But
like
he's a gay pedophile.
he looks like a gay pedophile,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
No, but he's a
Is
gay
anyone surprised
pedophile,
about that?
and Fuentes knew he was a gay pedophile.
What was
That
their
whole
relationship
scandal was
even for? Was he funding? Was he a patron? What's
it
going on with
was it was just to get him into the whole like stop the steal Alex Jones circle, those protests that they were doing after the election. And Ali Alexander was
really?
like organizing those protests, and he was like kind of
Who
using
is
out.
he? Who even is he? And how does he like? Why is he even around? Like, what's his position? What's his job? What does he do?
He he's just one of these political fixers. He's like Milo. Like he just
Yeah,
has these connections, sets up events.
like Roger
He's just one of
Stone.
these guys.
Roger
Yeah, yeah.
Stone.
He's
Yeah,
just one of these guys, and he's well known. He's got a criminal record. He's a known homosexual predator, pedophile. He's fucking brown. Like, and to hang out with that guy and they
he's
knew
very
he was
brown,
that,
very very brown too. Not just brown.
right?
He's very brown.
Yeah, I mean he's
Like
like
Myron
double
Gaines
extra.
brown.
He's double extra brown. This guy,
Yeah,
and then Fuentes knew about that. He knew that guy was a predator. Ignored it. That was a big scandal, and people still try to hold his feet to the fire. But then all he has to do is get on a bunch of new podcasts, and then you just instantly get new followers. It's like
and then yeah,
you
put a
show
bunch
up,
of clips out there that are him talking
right?
about how he doesn't want to live with black people, and then everyone loves him again.
Yeah, and he just pays 5 clipping accounts to just pump his shit out like that. That's what they're doing, right? It's
Yeah,
the Andrew Tate method. He's like those clip accounts I see on X. All they do is post Fuentes clips. So he's paying these people. There's no way someone's dedicating that much time to just pumping out like clips like that. Like he's probably paying them. He's got a lot of money to pay
yeah, he's
them.
probably paying him a nice little, you know, check every week.
Yeah,
Probably gives him
to
a
pump
quota
his
to
shit
hit,
out.
something like that. Like, give me one video a day or something.
But that's how it worked because they pay to play. You know, they're probably paying to boost their account. You could pay Twitter to boost up one of your posts,
Yeah,
right?
you can pay YouTube
So
to recommend your video more. It's not that
right,
effective and
so
it's very expensive. It's not really worth doing, but
right,
you can do it. If you have infinite money, you can make your YouTube channel viral.
right. So these guys are paying to play. It's like Andrew Tate paying these clippers, and then once your clips start going viral a little bit, and then these podcast hosts notice you, right? And then oh, they want to have you on, and then once you get on one, you get on the other ones, right? Because they see you, they're more visible, right? It's like that Andrew Wilson guy, right? He just jumped on whatever podcast, and then all of a sudden he's on every Fresh and Fit podcast and every other podcast. So
Yeah. He is a
It's
pretty good
tough to
debater,
do
though.
that though.
He's a pretty good debater, though. I've debated Andrew a few times. He's
Have you?
he's very much a sophist, and I'll tell him this to his face,
Yeah.
but he's good at it. He's good at it. He knows how to wiggle up when you have him pinned, he knows how to get out of it. And he knows how to stay on the offense to keep you answering the questions. And he's good at that. He knows what he's doing.
Right,
He's a good debater.
that's what he does. I debated him too, man.
Yeah.
I have a clip where I actually caught him on a point pretty badly, and
Really?
he was pissed. Yeah, he was pissed off about that for like
Which
years.
do you have it or I want to see it? I'm curious.
Yeah, I posted it. I'll throw it to you after.
All right.
Basically, he asked me a hypothetical. He's like, because I was saying like we should not be religion focused. We should just be more race focused.
Mhm.
And he was like, if there was a black or white child drowning,
Oh, I
would
saw
you
this clip.
choose?
Never mind. I remember this now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw that.
And then what did he say? You said white person. He said you're an animal or something.
Yeah, he says you have. It's like you're immoral,
Yeah.
and then I flipped it and I said, well, if it's a Muslim or a Christian drowning, which do you choose? He's like instantly says the Christian. So how's he any morally
What's the
superior to
difference?
me?
Yeah, you're both going with
Right?
your worldviews. You're both following your paradigm. Like it's no different.
Yeah, it's just a different type of preference, but it's a preference, and
Exactly.
so he.
That's what I was trying to tell him when I was talking to him. It's like you think that everyone's all preference based except for you. You're objective and everyone else is subjective. Actually, no. Yours is just as subjective as everyone else. You're just appealing to a church and they're subjective. And then you're following their
Hmm.
subjective You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Where did you debate him though? Which channel?
On his channel, I think he has it privated now because not because he's like I'm not saying he's like, oh, he needed to take down the video because I'm not saying that, but he does put his
Hmm.
videos on membership only. So it's on.
Okay.
If I think it's still a membership only video. If not, unless he put it back up private public. I also did it on Modern Day Debate too. Modern Day Debate.
Hmm. Yeah, and what did you debate him about?
So the Modern Day Debate one was about Christian nationalism, and I was actually filling in for somebody. It was last second, so I was like,
Huh.
it was not. I mean, it was weird, but yeah, that was that one. And then the first one was about I think it was still no, it was something about Christian morality or something like that. It's Christianity. It's both of them about Christianity.
Right. So you were a Christian and became critical of Christianity.
Yeah,
But what angle are you hitting it at? That it's too liberal, or just like an actual like religious critique, like it's
it, it's
false or what?
it's my angle that I'm hitting it. That's a good question. Is that our tradition in the West is not really the Christianity takes credit for a lot of things that we already had. For example, like Aristotle, Plato, the pre-Socratics,
Mm,
the plays like Homer and Euripides and the Bacchae. We had a great civilization. We had good philosophy. We had good morality. We had good ethics. We didn't need Christianity. Christianity comes along and then adopts all those good things that we already had, and then adds a bunch of Jewish shit onto it, and then takes credit for Western civilization. And I'm telling people, look, you don't need this Jewish Christian stuff. We have our own ancestral customs that are just as are even better. Um, and they're way more like why does everyone when we talk about religion, why is it only atheism or Christianity are our only options? Why can't people, I don't know, bring back ancient Greek and ancient Roman type of, and I'm not saying like go sacrifice goats and act like a bunch of weirdos. I'm just saying like be. I guess what I'm getting at is like we have today we live in a time where we have a chance to like correct the historical wrongs. Does that make sense? Like
mm,
I see
mm,
Christianity in the same way as the vaccine was, where everyone got the vaccine, but how many people actually wanted it? Like 70% of the world got vaccinated during COVID. How many people actually really wanted that vaccine? Or how many were actually social pressured into doing it? And I look at the 4th century to 7th century, or maybe even longer than that, 4th to 10th century, as a time when people were just being socially pressured to ditch their ancestral customs and adopt Christianity against their own will. So
mhm.
that's kind of like the angle and it's not that's not all I talk about. I talk about like the inconsistencies of the historicity of things like that. Um, that type of stuff.
Mhm. But do you think that there ever would be some kind of pagan revival, because so
There
many
already is.
people have been Christians since they were born? I mean, Christianity is so widespread; it's so dominant,
Yeah.
and paganism's just not known. It's kind of just almost died.
If you go to Greece, there's a pretty well known revival over there of like, it's they sometimes they call it, they don't really call it paganism. Some people do just because it's easy and everyone knows what it means. But it's more of like just Hellenistic polytheism, or the
Hmm.
religion of the muse. That type of, that's another name for it. And you can go to places in Greece where they do have like ceremonies, and they're just not Christian, but they're not atheists. And it's not like they're dogmatic. I've talked to these people. I've interviewed them. I'm actually working on a documentary showing a bunch of their stuff. I've released videos talking to a bunch of these people. They're not like dogmatic, like, oh, we believe in Hercules actually did these things. It's more of a philosophy. It's more of a philosophical outlook on the world, and you use the gods as like models to, put everything together in a nice, cohesive, traditional way. You know what I mean? It's a way to like describe the world around you using myths and it's more about the ritual aspect. It's more about the passing down your ancestral customs and doing the tradition and keeping things alive, keeping that fire lit. It's not about you
Hmm.
have to believe in Zeus or else. That's a very Christian Jewish thing that never was a thing in the ancient world until Christianity made this whole new rule up. I guess there was some groups like that, like the Orphics had this idea that you had to get initiated to go to Elysium. So there was other groups that were weird like that, but the norm was nobody actually cared what you believed in. You weren't like your afterlife didn't depend on your thoughts. Your afterlife depended on like who you were and your virtue and what you did in the world. And I think that type of mentality brings about a better society, people who are more active in the world rather than the Christian worldview, which is like this world means nothing. Your body is nothing. Flesh is nothing. Matter means nothing. This world's going to end. God's going to end it. And you're a sinner. You deserve hell unless you repent. And like this is the big Nietzschean thing and Julius Evola thing. It's like that is the very slave morality mentality that leads to liberalism. It leads to modernity. Because if you think about it, um, the Christian worldview that the first will be last and the last will be first, and there is no Jew, there is no Gentile, there's no Scythian, there's no slave, there's no woman, there's no man. That mentality is rooted in the Bible, and we see it today manifesting outside of Christianity because we are, as you pointed out, because we are such a Christian based civilization now. We have this new, like every movie is about the underdog who he lost his leg and then he became an NBA star somehow miraculously. I'm just made that up on the spot, but like that's very Christian. It's very Christian that the underdog should be on top and the person on top is
Yeah.
actually evil. That's a very Christian way to look at the world.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Christians kind of falling back on the JQ stuff to ignore the liberal Christian establishment. I talk about this in Adam Green's show, that there's the Jewish establishment is super liberal, but so is the Christian establishment. And what I see them doing is pointing at only the Jewish establishment, ignoring the Christian establishment, the Pope, the Catholic charities, the Christian charities. Like 6 out of the 10 leading refugee resettlement charities in America, Christian. 90% in the UK. The London Church, totally libtard. They're trying to bring in. They say God doesn't have a gender now. It's like they're
Right.
bringing trans and LGBT people, and then like the Reform Judaism is totally libtarded out as well. They have gay
Yes.
rabbis, and
Yep. Women
so
rabbis.
they're all totally libtarded out. So there's a faction of both that are libtarded. There's a faction of both that are still more traditional conservative.
Yeah.
But the elites of both tend to be the hyper libtard ones. They tend to dominate. They
Yes.
tend to be up front, whereas the more conservative traditional ones are kind of isolated, a bit more fringe, and the
I'm glad
libtard
you
ones want
noticed
to
that.
keep them out.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely correct. The more higher up, the more funded, the more corporate, the more liberal they are, the more like
Yeah.
open borders, the more free trade, the more like immigration. They're all like that. It's Catholic Church. Look at the Pope, dude. The Pope's whole message is to open up the borders. Let everyone come and live in America. Let everyone come and
Yeah.
live in the wealthy Europe. That's the Pope's message to the world right now. That's his number one doctrine. So you think
Well, the
Christianity is conservative? You're wrong, dude.
the previous pope was washing the feet, right? And he was always preaching open borders from the
and
beginning.
that's the Christian message, though. They're actually, if you go through the New Testament carefully, they're biblically sound. The Pope is being biblically sound, and even throughout history in the Middle Ages, there was a lot of popes that would have been considered very liberal for their time periods. The Borgia
Hmm.
Pope, Pope Alexander. They made a whole show about him on Showtime. Was known for being extremely liberal, for funding all these welfare programs, and he built a building that was remodeled churches for homeless. All this. This is what Christianity's been doing for thousands, hundreds of years. And then don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, someone will point up, what about this pope? He kicked the Jews out, and this pope, he did this. Yes, there is a back and forth dialectic happening, just like everything in the world. Once in a while, you will get a really conservative traditional pope that'll come into power and pull things back a little bit.
He kicked the Jews out for not being Christians, though. Like that was the main
That's
reason. It
exactly
was
what it
just
is. Yeah.
they wouldn't convert to Christianity, so he kicked him out.
And then
Right?
Pope Alexander brings him back in again. They go back and forth. He's like, no, the Jews are sons of Abraham like us. So let's let them. They go back, and there's another it's a dialect like everything
It's
else
like
in the
this
world.
love hate. This is love hate relationship shit. I mean, same with the rabbis and Christians. Right? It's this love hate. They did spread the word of God, right? The word of Abraham. They brought the Old Testament to the world, but they're wrong, and Jesus ain't the Messiah and this stuff. So there's some love hate shit going on with Jews and Christians.
Same thing, right?
there is a commonality. They do have the Old Testament in common, really.
Yeah. They
But
they both think that there was Jewish prophets who predicted future events through God, and that they conjured up the Messiah in their writings. So whether the Jews think it's Jesus or not is beside the point. They both think that Isaiah, Micah, Hosea, whatever, all the prophets, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Zerubbabel, all these, they all think that those names that I just mentioned were writing down or speaking out loud future events that the Messiah will do. So they're basically conjuring up the Messiah in their own writings, and they believe this. They think that there were special people in Jerusalem that can magically predict the future with their writings. So whether you're Christian or Jewish or not, you automatically believe that. And that what that does is, whether you hate Jews or not, you're still putting them up on a pedestal and saying they had the ability to predict the future in the 700s to 500s BC. No one else did that. Only the Jews did that. They were chosen. Moses was chosen. So even if
yeah, I
you're
mean,
anti-Semitic Christian, you still think they're special. Period.
yeah, I mean, I noticed that a lot of the people on X that are doing the just JQ obsessive shit. It's just like every post is just JQ. Like that's all they do. And I noticed with them, I push back a little bit on them because I just give them other examples like Spain and other countries that don't have that. But I was like, look at all these Christians doing the same thing. Why aren't you calling them out? I noticed they wouldn't call them out. They don't call out the Pope. They don't talk about the Catholic charities or the Christian
And
charities.
they're all
They they
Catholics themselves.
they
Half of them.
don't talk about the Christian leadership that has on their website, welcome the stranger, Catholic charities, welcome the stranger. It's right on their fucking website. They're suing the Trump administration over the refugee issue. They get money from the government to resettle them. Even JD Vance called them out, right? Catholic US Conference of Catholic Bishops. And there's all these other ones. And Fuentes does this too. He goes on Alex Jones, and he's like, Jews, immigration, Hebrew immigrant aid, man. And Jones is like, well, what about those Catholic charities doing the same thing? And then
Yeah.
Fuentes is like, well, I think that's just a distraction to get you to not look at the Jews, though. No, you dipshit. both of them are doing the same thing. So you hold them both to the same standard, you dipshit. You don't ignore one and just point the
Exactly.
finger at the other one. But
Exactly.
that's what he's doing. Why is he doing that? Because he's selling you Christianity as a solution to the liberal issue, right?
Right. You know what's
He
crazy
wants.
about the JQers?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so funny. The JQers remind me of the Dave Chappelle skit of the KKK clan guy who's black. You can't see that he's black because they're like we're JQers. Jewish question. It's on our minds. We're all Christian though. The guy who wrote the Jewish question, Bruno Bauer, who was a young Hegelian, thought
Yeah.
that Jesus didn't even exist, was a mythicist who thought that Christianity was based on Philo of Alexandria, this philosopher, the Jewish philosopher from the first century. He thought that the whole New Testament was borrowing from Philo of Alexandria, and also he particularly picked out the Serapis cult of Egypt, which was a Hellenistic religion that was around in the third century to Common Era BC. And Bruno Bauer actually didn't even think Jesus existed at all. And you guys are a bunch of Christians calling yourselves JQers. You don't even know where that comes from. It's hilarious. Keep following the Jewish question, you'll
Well,
end up with the Christian question, right?
their whole bit is just like, if Christians were in power, then everything would be perfect. But you do have Christians in positions of power. Biden's a
Everywhere,
Catholic. Biden's
everywhere.
a Catholic. Fucking Angela Merkel's father was a pastor. Like, he was literally a pastor,
Right.
and she cited Christianity as her main inspiration. Tony Blair is a Catholic, so there are
Every
plenty of
single
like,
US senator and
yeah.
congressperson is either a Christian, a Jew, or a Muslim. There's no atheist. There's nobody's even
Right.
agnostic. They're all
And Christian is
they're
the
all Catholic or something. And 90% of it's Christian. I think
right.
like 8 or 9% is Jewish. Then there's like 1% Muslim.
Right, and the guy who pushed the Civil Rights Act, JFK, Irish Catholic,
Irish Catholic.
LBJ, Baptist. Uh, his whole cabinet were like Presbyterian and Lutheran, all that. Most of the Congress, most of the Senate. So like, they're it's just like a coping mechanism. They'll just pluck. They want to act like they're victims, so they'll say, "Look at these liberal Jews push this thing." Ignore the Christians who signed the fucking bill and
Right.
also promoted it, and then they can say we're victims, right? It's like BLM. It's like the white man did it to us, and
And
same for the Christians. The Jews did it to us, but the Christians are innocent. They're being preyed upon. They're not the actual. They're
yeah, they're
not
not holding
collaborators. They're
they're not
victims.
holding both to the same standard.
Yeah.
It's like an apples to oranges thing because in one sense, you can point to all these liberal Jews that are doing these policies, whatever, and they're like they happen to be Jewish. Great, you figured out some cool like overlap there. And then you look at the same policies being pushed, people who happen to be Christian and they don't care. It's just oh, everyone's Christian.
Right.
They don't think about that. They think they only see this person's Jewish. He's doing this. It must be because he was told to do it. Whatever the reason is, and maybe they're right. But they don't look at all the Christians in power doing with the same policies and going in the same direction, even to even more higher degree.
Yeah, well, and then the Pope says it's because he'll cite the Bible, he'll cite "Welcome the Stranger," he'll cite
Right.
Bible verses to justify the liberal stances, just as the liberal Jews will cite those verses as well. Like the
Yeah.
rabbis will say,
Jesus hung out with
"Welcome the
murderers and
stranger."
criminals. Or
So,
Philip baptized a Ethiopian eunuch. That's the first person Philip baptized. So we should go out in the world and go and save the. That's how they act. That's Christianity. That's not. There's nothing heretical about that. That's how Christianity is supposed to be. You
but
know.
they make an excuse for the liberal Christians and say, "Oh, they're just paid off, they're just bought off, they're brainwashed, they're not responsible for what they're doing." Okay, so you're just like a black person who says that black criminals are not responsible for what they do. It's
Yeah.
the white man's fault. It's somebody else's fault. No, they're fucking responsible, man. Like, Ted Cruz cites his Christianity to justify Zionism, right?
Right.
Like, you don't, it doesn't get clearer than that. Like, you can just blame it on APAC, but like, APAC gives money to people who already agree with them.
Right.
They don't give money to AOC and Rashida Tlaib because they give money to their opponents to get them out, right?
Right.
So it's not even like it's kind of a bribe, but it's more just like funneling money to people they know are pro-Israel, and then maybe some of those pro-Israel people took up that stance to get the money, but even if they did, they're totally responsible for what they're doing.
Ted
You know?
Cruz literally told Tucker Carlson, the reason why we should bless Israel is because God will bless us, and I want to be on the side of God. He didn't have any political reason. No, if we help Israel, it might be actually good for our economy because we can get the oil. Nothing.
Right.
It was just pure nonsense. If we bless Israel,
Yeah, it's
God will
religion.
bless us. Yeah. Like what? We're in 2020. Like, what are we doing, dude? What's going on right now?
Well, Charlie Kirk would say that
Oh,
too.
he would say that all the time. Yeah.
But then Tucker Carlson will say that's heretical and that's not real Christianity. That's another thing they'll say. They're not real Christians. They're fake Christians. They're heretics. That's the other cop out.
And then, but the thing I'd say to them is are those verses not real? They are. They're literally using the Bible is telling them to do this. So whether you think they're real
Yeah,
Christians or not, what's the problem here? If there's one thing that's causing people to do stuff, that's the issue. Point to that thing. That's the Bible. It's the Bible says do this, do this, do this, and they keep doing this and doing this and doing this. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's where Zionism's coming from. Ever thought of that?
for sure. Yeah, the Copes are incredible with that one. And I noticed on the flip end with the Christians doing the diversion thing, and the JQ is kind of convenient to take heat off of their own. The white nationalists do this too, where I'll point to white liberals in Europe who are just white Christian background. Let's just say they're atheists. They're white liberals. They push open borders. They're actually putting the policies in place. People like Merkel, Macron, Justin Trudeau, all these people, they're white liberals, and then the WNs will be like, no white person would ever do that on their own. They're being bribed, man. No, they're not. Nobody bribed Angela Merkel to do that. She just wanted to do it because she's just a liberal. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. What's
So
up with Angela Merkel? How does she? Did they have is she ever going to not be the chancellor over there? Like, is that like Canada where you can just keep winning elections? How does that work?
she's out. No,
Oh, she's out.
she
Okay, I didn't.
lost a few years ago. Yeah, she's
Okay,
been out for a
she's
bit.
been out. I didn't know that. But she's still like in government in some way, right? She's like the United Nations or something like that.
I'm not
No.
sure. She's
Okay.
still around, just doing something.
Yeah.
Let me just bring up this one little page here, and then we can round it out. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this. This is some alt media personalities I'll run through. Notice that this has sort of been one of my beats as well, is calling out like the pro Russian people. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
always
When
pushing.
when they all got caught being paid like tens of thousands of dollars to say pro Russia, that was nuts, dude.
Yeah, tenant media, but these people like this. So Alex Jones, what do you think about him?
He's got Jay Dyer as one of his like big co-anchors, and Jay Dyer is
Yeah,
a Russian Orthodox. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's his loyalty to? You're a Russian Orthodox Christian. Do you really think this guy's like America first? No. Fuck that. I never even heard him ever say that before. I've never even trying to. He doesn't even act like he's American first. He's completely just like obsessed with the whole Christian. He's a
Russia's
yeah,
Russia's the new Rome. Yeah.
yeah. And so that's who you have on as your number one host of your channel.
Well, yeah. Well, Alex is a massive Russia shill. He has Dugan on. He's been on Kremlin TV. He spews like just pure Russian
I'm not surprised at
disinfo.
all because once
He's
he went
always on
down,
RT as well.
once he was being sued to death, he revived. How did hell did he get revived after that? Well, I wonder. Probably Russia bailed him out. Probably paid all of his bills and legal fees and revived everything.
Right.
That's probably what happened, right?
No, I think it happened way before that. So he started going on Russia Today, and they started promoting him as like a alternative critic of the American government. And because he's so tied in with RT and all these people, he just started chilling Russian shit, knowing that he'd get invited back on there every fucking day, right? Abby Martin, she was an RT anchor. Now she's not as much of a Russia shill. She's more just like a
She's more of a
Palestine.
Palestinian, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, she's on Joe
yeah,
Rogan
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. But she's crap on most
But
issues.
no,
I
but
mean, she's a
I
total
have heard
leftist.
her say things that were like, "Oh, that's a bunch of Ukrainian propaganda." I've heard her say that before, like, a few times.
Yeah, yeah. She always has to take an anti-NATO line, right?
Right.
Max Blumenthal, this guy's a total just shill, man. Like he's a total hack who tried to justify the war in Ukraine and he tried to cook up some hoaxes to blame Azov Battalion for the Bucha massacre and all this
He's
bullshit,
fucking
man.
good
This
at that.
guy's
He's also behind the whole Charlie Kirk hysteria.
right,
Remember
right,
that?
right.
When
Yeah,
the
he
for a while, nobody was taken seriously that Israel was behind, and then Max Blumenthal came out with the video going through all the like, all the he was cherry picking everything he can find to make it look like Charlie
right.
was, and then all of a sudden it was like the next day, everyone online was like, Israel did it.
I think I mean, coming from him, he's got this massive axe to grind with Israel, right? Like he's a anti-Zionist activist. Like that's his entire journalistic career is just like criticizing Israel for being right wing and stuff, right?
And that's pretty
So it
common
makes
For Russian aligned people, right? To go against Israel?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah, for sure. So he coming from him, like he's got an agenda. Obviously, he flubbed. He didn't give any actual sources. It was all unnamed sources for that. There was some kind of thing going on with Kirk and some of his donors, like that text that Candace put out. But that was a private text. It's not like anybody knew about that. It's not like even the donors knew about that text, right? It was a private chat, and the Kirk, if you look at his debates, he was still defending Israel every day on those debates, all the way up until his death. Like he never turned against Israel. That's
Yeah.
totally wrong.
All if you took all the clips of him saying things that were like questioning lobbies and all that stuff, and you weighed
Mm,
it against everything he says that was like, we Israel needs to be our ally, or Israel, the
mm,
Bible says this, you would have a drop in the bucket versus an ocean
right.
of him being pro-Israel. And
Exactly.
all the little questions that you have, yeah, you can put together nice collages of stuff and make it look, holy shit, was he turning on Israel? Yeah, fine, but let's actually show the other side too. Like, look how pro-Israel he actually was. Like, it's crazy.
His questions about Israel was just about maybe they knew something about October 7th. It was just questioning the government's response or their lack of response. But that's not turning on Israel. I mean, many people in Israel have that same question.
And
Many,
he would say
yeah,
liberal Jews. He would he would like skirt around and try to be very careful with his language and talk about the liberal Jews that are lobbying blah 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 blah. He would only focus on liberal Jews as mostly.
yeah. I mean that would be a good critique. Then, like, I'll give him credit for criticizing those liberal Jews, right? But
Sure.
he was I mean one of the last statements he said, someone asked him about Candace Owens and he condemned her and said that he said anti-Semitism is a mind virus or something like that. So that was one of his last statements. So the whole thing's been just blown out by like Jackson Hinkle type people, right?
Yeah.
uh
Doesn't he live in
Glenn
Israel now?
Greenwald. Who?
Doesn't that guy live in Israel? Or I'm sorry, not Israel. Russia.
Yeah, he lives in fucking Russia, this little
That's
dipshit.
sad.
He's just a total op. He's just a Russian op, right?
Why would
The
you
whole
even care?
American.
That's so bad, dude. Sitting there talking about American politics and you're over in Russia and like, that's fucked up, dude.
Like that American Communist Party is like the most open book, like BRICS, Russia, China sponsored op, right? Like all they do is shill for those countries and their foreign policy, right?
And Tucker's the worst right here. He went over there and did the whole like propaganda video of him shopping.
Yep.
That was nuts, dude.
He
Wow,
he
look at there.
softballed
I can
Putin.
shop and buy cheese and bread here. Did you know that?
It's so ridiculous. Like he's like, they have trolleys here. You don't have to pay either. Amazing. Like he's such a slot merchant, man. Like he's not that sophisticated or
No.
that smart. Like he's just. And then actually, Dinesh D'Souza made a good point. Like he pretends like he's asking these profound questions, but he knows what the answer will be already, and then he pretends like he's surprised by the answer, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then there's Douglas McGregor. This is that general that was always on Tucker shilling the Russia stuff. Scott Ritter, pedophile, convicted pedophile.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
he's a big pro Russia pundit. Giraldi, have you heard of this guy?
I think so.
Former CIA. He's always on Russia Today. It's funny because like he calls out the Israel lobby, right? And he's like they should register as a foreign agent. But then when the U.S. government cracked down on Russia Today as a media channel, he was complaining because the U.S. government shut them down, claiming they are a foreign agent. And then he was protesting that, saying "free speech, man." so
Damn.
so so he's against Israeli influence, but not Russian. Syrian girl.
Oh yeah, I remember this person. I've seen this person around.
Dude, I think she lives in Russia too. They're all Russia sponsored, all these people.
Yeah, she's just
Dawson.
yeah. You're right. It seems to be a trend where they're very vocal anti-Israel, also vocal anti-Ukraine at the same time. You can sort of tell
Yeah.
where they're lined up because, like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being anti-Israel. I mean, I think every normal person right now is anti-Israel. It's to some degree, but when you see the very vocal at the same time, like the Ukraine and Israel dual thing going on, you can okay, this might be some sort of Russian thing going on.
Well, notice the double standard they have. They say Palestinians have a right to fight back. They have a right
Exactly.
to oppose this occupation. Don't Ukrainians have that right? Aren't they being
But no, that's
occupied?
different. No, that's different though. Yeah.
Isn't their land being annexed?
And
Even way way more
they'll say
land.
stuff like, "But that used to be Russians' land. They should take. They're just taking their land back." Isn't that the same
Right.
argument that Israel does? It used to be our land. Oh, Moses gave it to us. Same dumb
Exactly.
shit.
Fucking Mexicans in California can say this used to be Mexico, and we all speak Spanish anyway. So America belongs to
I think you can
Mexico.
tell who the honest people are because they'll be. You can see there's no double standard between being critical of Israel and being critical of Russia at the same time means that
Mm,
you are consistent in your worldview. But if you're
right.
being pro Russia and you're being pro Palestine, you're not being really consistent in your
Right
worldview.
at all. And secondly, like the Israel Hamas war did start with a Hamas attack, at least this time, whereas Ukraine did not go into Russia and kill 500 people. Russia just attacked them.
Yeah, it's
So
even
there's
worse.
far less of an argument for Russia's occupation, but they defend it. Jackson
Wait,
Hinkle,
go
of
back up
course.
to what's his name, brother Nathaniel. What's his? I
Yeah,
know who this guy is. This guy's absolutely batshit crazy. I didn't know he was a
he's a
Russian.
massive Russian. Yeah, he's a
Really?
massive Russia show. He's a big Putin filater. He's like Putin's bringing back Orthodox Christianity, and it's a
Someone
Christian paradise in Russia.
someone told me that he was not even a member of the Orthodox Church. That he was just he was wearing fake clothes, and that no priest would ever be walking around like that the way he is. He's not a real because that's the priestly garments. That's not like a normal. You don't just wear that while you're walking around public. That's like he's dressing as a priest right now. But the way look at he's holding
Yeah,
crosses and he's got that's not normal. That's not what that he's not doing anything that is normal there. But I don't know. Maybe they're paying him still. I have no idea what his deal is.
he's such a. I hate this guy, man. I hate this
You
guy.
ever see his
He's
videos?
such a yeah. He's such a
He's
clown. He's
fucking
such a
crazy. He like speaks like he's
he,
like doing poetry while he's trying to talk about politics. Like, what are you doing,
well.
dude?
What's what's so over the top is his whole bit is just like Jews did everything, but he's actually Jewish
He's Jewish.
himself.
Yeah. I'm the good one. I'm the
And
good Jew. Don't you can listen to
no,
me.
but it's crazy what he's doing because like he's promoting a version of the anti-Jew thing, like an exaggerated version of it, where he tries to blame them for everything, and he never calls out the rotten liberal whites or Christians or anyone else. And yet, and then the people on that side, on the kook version of that, they attack him too, right? Because he is born in Judaism, and so he's basically stoking the very thing that will actually come to bite him at the end, because they're going to say there are no good ones and you're not good either.
Right. That he I've even heard him say, "Don't trust any Jew. They're just trying to like whatever he said. They're trying to whatever, I don't know, they're trying to like kill you or something." And it's like, "So why should I trust
Right.
you then?"
Exactly.
They're like, "What are you talking? Like why would you say that? Like what the hell?"
He's like, you're in on it, and then some people, I've seen some people in spaces like call him out and call him a Jew, and he's like, and then he goes into this like J mode and he calls them goy or something. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
He gets into arguments and he's like Jewish brainwashing background comes out. It's like you stupid goy,
That's crazy. That's
Dawson.
crazy. I don't know what that is. Never seen him before.
Really,
No, who's that?
this guy's been around forever. He's just like a big anti-Zionist, pro-Palestine. He's kind of like a libertarian Ron Paul guy. But very dishonest. He's a massive Russia promoter and shill, and so he's one of those guys like you're saying, pro-Palestine but pro-Russia invasion of Ukraine.
Hmm.
So just another fraud. Um, but out of any of these alt media people, who do you actually listen to and like? Do you
I
listen to
mean,
like anyone?
nah, other than the clips from Fuentes that are pretty hilarious. I didn't know what's this. What's the argument that he's paid by Russia? I didn't know he was paid by Russia.
Who?
Fuentes. How do
Well,
you?
this was back in when Russia invaded Ukraine. You can look at his show. He was shilling for it, and he had the Z and the Russian flag, and he's like, "Ukraine needs to be destroyed." Russia, Tsar Putin. So he was leaning into that pro-Russian shit as a contrarian at the time,
Do you
right?
think they
Just to
paid him to do
own
that, or do you think he was
Biden.
actually saying that?
I don't know if they. I don't think they paid him to do it, but he was just doing it because he wants to be contrarian to Biden or whatever. Right?
And why isn't Tim
So
Pool and that other Canadian girl on this list? They got caught red-handed getting money from Russia.
I think because I made this like before that happened, I think.
Oh, you need to update this, bro.
But look at this: free Palestine, free Palestine. Fuentes is a free Palestine guy too, but then
Oh
he's
yeah,
shilling for Russia. So I think this is why we need to call these people out and their hypocrisy. They love to call out like the Zionist hypocrites and the mainstream hypocrites, but then they're also hypocrites,
yeah.
right? It says Infowars republished more than 1,000 articles from RT without permission. So he's like a, what do you call that? Like a feed.
Yeah.
He's like an automatic feed for
Do they
Russian.
care? Because they're like he's don't they not care that he's like pushing their shit?
They don't care, man.
Yeah.
Wow. All
And
right, so we'll wrap it up then.
that's what he uses for
Yeah,
his channel is like that's his sources is that you get from Alex Jones is he's got Russia
yeah,
Today.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, the
crazy.
thing, like, so many guests he has on are complete idiots. Like, they're just making up shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
just crap. Like, they
Just
claim they got
complete
secret,
nonsense. Complete
yeah,
nonsense.
secret sources, and you have this one guy on who talk about his contacts in the government and contacts in the this foreign government. And there's no evidence these people have any connections.
Right. That's how Jay Dyer is. Jay Dyer just talks out of his ass. He'll be reviewing a clip and he'll go, you can see in the background there's a 5-star, 5-pointed star. That's the pentagram, and they're showing us in open sight that they're satanic. Just making shit up, dude. All just on the spot.
Oh, that's the movie analysis
Yeah,
stuff,
he
or
does that
what?
like Jay's Hollywood analysis. It's nonsense, dude. He doesn't even get some of these symbolism right half the time.
Yeah, well, Alex Jones loves that shit,
Of course.
right? Alex, this Bohemian Grove territory. Fucking grifters, dude. What? All these people are goddamn grifters, dude.
Yeah, it's horrible, dude. It's everyone. Like everyone who's successful in media is somehow some sort of paid shill from somewhere. They're getting something.
Yeah, and they all got like professional studios and they got some money behind them, right?
Yeah, and then you see their channels take off overnight. There's no like actual slow progression. They're just boom. They're just on top of the world, and you can just go,
Right.
wait a minute, what the fuck?
Well, Jackson Hinkle, that guy came out of pretty much
Came out of
nowhere
nowhere. Yeah,
and had 3 million followers in like a 6 month period.
and I didn't follow him. I don't know anyone who followed him. I mean, is it all
Yeah,
bots? I don't know anyone that's like I'm a Jackson Hinkle fan. Never met someone
it's
like that before.
it's half bots. Half of them are bots, and half of them are Muslims.
Yeah,
Basically, the Qataris are just botting him up. Right?
yeah. That's another thing.
Something
If you
going
bring up
on there.
Qatar, if you bring up Qatar meddling in politics, they'll be like, "What? What are you, a Jew?" Like, dude,
Mm.
we're trying. I like the nuanced discussions where you can be like, okay, yes, Jews are meddling in our affairs and they're lobbying. So is Qatar. Why can't that two things can be true at the same time? We can be aware of both. We don't have to pick a side, you know?
Right. So they're not against lobbying, just when it's Israel.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's why I push back on this JQ only focus, because you're ignoring everything else. Your standards are corrupted now. You're not holding these people to the same standard. You're holding them to different standards. So, but dude, it's like, dude, they don't want to listen. They don't want to learn. They want to stick in their little fucking bubble and just do their little bullshit posting, and it's all J's all day, and they'll just say you're a shill. Like if you push back, like the pushback that we're making is not to say those people are not doing some bad stuff, is to say, well, these other people are doing the same bad stuff, so let's hold them all accountable. And they interpret that as defending the other group. No, it's not. You fucking, it's light switch brain.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All right, where can people find your work?
YouTube, look up Gnostic Informant on YouTube. It's mostly documentaries about ancient history and religion, a lot of interviews with scholars, and then if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm also on Twitter. Same thing, Gnostic Informant.
And do you post much on Twitter and other socials, or you just stick to
I
YouTube?
it's mostly just YouTube and Twitter right now. I do have an Instagram, but it's dead. Like I never use it. I want to start getting on there though because it's I don't know why not. Like so you can find me on there. I guess it might only be a few thousand followers there, but yeah, mostly Twitter and YouTube. YouTube is where I put my documentaries and real heavy produced and interviews stuff like that. Like I said, it's not really much politics, but it's a lot of ancient history, early Christianity, early religion, philosophy, Socrates, Plato, that type of stuff. And then on Twitter, you'll get more of my thoughts on things. You'll get more, just stuff that we're talking about right now, that type of thing.
And you've done this stuff full time, or is it just a
Yes,
hobby?
I do it full time now. I started full time in 2021.
Wow. And it's doable full time, or
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
I had some videos that made enough. The way YouTube works is you're not most videos aren't gonna make a lot of you ad revenue, but when you get a few
Yeah.
that you get a couple a year that pop off and get
Mm.
500,000 to 1,000,000, the ad revenue rates go up, which means the advertisers pay more. They'll pay like $7 CPM. It'll go up to like 25 or 30. So you get more per view. And then all of a sudden I'll say this. I usually don't say this publicly. I've had a video that made $20,000, one video. So you
Wow.
can
Must
make
how
you
many?
can but you have to hit a couple times a year to make up for the months that are down. That's the way YouTube is. It's very erratic. It's not fun. It's
Right.
not
It's almost like being a fucking poker player, man. Like
yeah.
you're winning 1 month and you're losing,
I
or
mean, like
just
authors
making
are like
nothing,
this
right?
though. Authors and artists, they're not making money every
Yeah.
week. They're not getting paychecks, but if you're putting out enough per year, you can make yourself you can live with it.
Actors as well.
Same thing. Yeah.
Wow, 20K for one video. This guy's
Yeah.
cashing in, folks.
Yeah, it was my
How many
video.
hits did it get?
It's got 2.1 million views and it's a it's a 2 hour, and it's got a lot of watch time. It's a 2.5 hour documentary. So I've had a couple of videos that's got 1 to 2 million views, and all of those are in the tens of thousands ad revenue. So I had
And
one
this is
big
all
year.
just
I had one giant big year where it was a 6-figure year. I don't know why I'm saying all this publicly. Whatever, it's not a big deal. I had
yeah.
2022, I think it was, where it was like everything just took off. And now, and then what happens is those videos, they still get clicks, and you're still getting paid from them even years
Huh.
later. So I can, like, when I
Wow.
was in Greece, traveling around Greece, I was still getting paid that month for my old videos. Not a lot, but
Nice.
you're putting, it's like you're working towards your retirement by doing that. You're just putting together a big library of stuff, and then
The
and
passive
people,
income.
exactly.
But that's hard to do, man. Get a million hits on YouTube's not
You
easy.
got to really work on it. You got to write a script. You can't just put out slop or do a review or do a reaction. You got to write a nice little video essay and put together and take your time. You might take 3-4 weeks to make it. It might take you a month or 2 months to make it, but it'll pay off if you do it right. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've made little documentaries like that. The anti-white agenda. I made two on Putin. But when I just upload them, I mean, you need to have a bunch of subscribers for them to catch any views,
Yeah.
and the algorithm,
The algorithm is
the
unpredictable, like we
algorithm,
mentioned, unpredictable. So that's
yeah,
another problem
it's
with all this
terrible,
stuff.
man. Like
Yeah.
it's such a grind, dude.
And
It's
I have Patreon, by the way. That does help me.
you know,
It does keep me anchored that I know I'm going to be good every month. So that's another thing. Patreon's a big thing.
yeah, it's a tough grind though. This online shit, dude, because
It
there's so
is.
much competition. It's like
It's a tough
people
grind.
get bored of it. Uh, Yeah, not many people can do it full time. I mean, I've never really done it all full. I mean, it's more part time. I kind of do it part time, but
Yeah,
yeah, the YouTube is gay, dude. It's so hard to pop off on there.
it is.
You just gotta be
I'm
a
going to start
Russo
uploading.
shill. Or,
I'm going to start uploading all my content over here pretty soon, and just in case something happens on YouTube. And then and then maybe I can start making money over here, even at the same time. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to start uploading here pretty
you
soon.
said you were planning on moving away from just the religion topics.
Uh, yeah, I want to do more, get into more world current events and
Yeah,
philosophy, not just religion, but maybe broaden a little bit more. Yeah. I might even,
nice.
and that's when I think I was talking to you before we even did this stream. I
Yeah,
think maybe starting another channel might be better than that, because
right.
the thing about YouTube is everything's so niche. Like, you're going to a channel for one thing. You don't like.
Mm,
I notice some people who are like big, and I don't know, cooking channels, and all of a sudden they put out a video about sports and it gets no views because everyone's there for
yeah.
cooking. That's how YouTube is. So if I'm going to branch out and do something different, maybe starting another channel might be something I might be interested in doing. Something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, definitely should start up a new podcast channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the YouTube grind, these fucking grifters, dude. They're still grinding. Like those old school YouTubers are still grinding, like Mike Thurston, I mean, these kind of
Yeah.
guys, these fitness dudes. They all branched out to podcasts. You notice that? Like they
Yeah.
started they
Because
started
it's
with
easy.
fitness, and now everybody's got a podcast.
The thing about podcasting is they're long, ad revenue stretches out, more watch time, so you're getting more money per video, and also it's so easy. You don't have to write a script for it. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to edit it. You just sit down on your microphone and you talk, and then you upload it. It's so easy. So that's why everyone
Hmm.
wants to do podcasting. It's the dream job, is to just be a podcaster like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is the best job in the world. Gets to talk to people
Hmm.
and get paid millions of dollars. It's the greatest job in the world. You know?
Right, and it probably doesn't even write down any questions. He just
No, he
ad
just
lib.
talks. And there's no
Yeah.
editing. He's not like putting visuals in there, or it's just literally just the couple camera shots, a couple camera angles. That's it.
Yeah, I mean his thing is low production. It's just
Yeah.
him in a room. Yeah, it's I don't know why people watch that. I mean, they're so long those shows, like three and a
Isn't
half
that weird?
hours.
Why all of
Fucking
a sudden we
ridiculous.
have this new medium of media that's big and long and not 5 seconds long and everyone likes it? Like, when did that happen?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man,
We'll
this was
keep in
fun.
touch.
All right, man. I'll keep in
All
touch.
right, bro.
See you later.
Peace out. We did have one super chat here from Battle Goose. He says, "Cheers to the Matador." Thank you very much, Battle Goose. Actually, he's got two super chats. He says, "I think it would be awesome if your show had a call-in segment one day." Yes, maybe I'll do that. Maybe on Telegram, I'll open up the calls on Telegram. The reason I don't usually do it is because I notice with the call-ins, they kind of get derailed into topics that are kind of useless, and the calls aren't always the top quality calls. But we'll definitely do it one day. Thank you very much, my friend. That's from Battle Goose. Let me just check the chat room here. We got Jake V in the house. We got King Feynman. We got Woodpit, Julian, Frog, straight up, huh? Dyer has a huge following of Christ hards, but there isn't a mega overlap with us. Yeah, I mean it's such a so many people grinding that out, eh? You got people grinding out the WN bit, the neo-Nazi bit, the fucking Christian bit. They're all grinding it out, dude. They're like little poker players at the Bellagio, grinding that shit out. Give me the money. Give me the money. They know what little niche to hit. That's the thing. I just get bored of these little niches, man. Imagine you're Mark Dice, and you just every single video is just you ranting about CNN. Listen to what the CNN anchor said today. What a crazy libtard. Haha. It's just like, dude, he doesn't even get tired of that. Like, dude, I would get so tired of doing that. Like PJW, every fucking video is the SJWs, refugees, feminists, dipshits, and he just keeps he keeps pumping it out. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock. Paul Joseph Watson. A new batch of refugees have been dumped into Britain. Imagine my shock. It just gets boring, like, but these guys, I guess they're just so committed to the grift and so committed to the whatever it is they think they're doing that they just keep going and keep pushing. But for me, it gets boring. So you notice I like to kind of delve into different subjects. I like some history bit. I like some geopolitics bit, culture wars. We get into all of it because I don't like to be bored and to be talking about the same exact content every time. We touch into the religion stuff a bit. It's not my focus. It's definitely not my forte, but we do cover it. Yeah, go subscribe over to his channel, Gnostic Informant on YouTube. Hinkle's just a shameless grifter, man. He's just like he has no shame whatsoever. He gets like called out all the time. He gets just lambasted by everybody. He's just like, yeah, Russia. King Feynman says Tucker is just a grifter, though he jumped from the APAC paycheck to the Qatari paycheck. Seems like that's the case, dude. Like there's a clip of him where he's praising Qatar, and he's like, "Qatar is our greatest. He's one of our best allies." And it was just he actually got paid to interview one of the Qatari princes. So it looks like Qatar is like buying off some conservatives to like shift on Israel. And whatever, I'm not saying you should shill Israel, but to then shill, like to just switch it from Israel shilling to Qatari shilling, I don't see why that's good. I mean, fuck Qatar, right? Just theocratic Islamic fucking hypocrites. But Tucker's Russia shilling, I don't even think they're paying him. He just did it because he hates the neocons and he's got this beef with the neocons. So he wanted to be contrarian to the neocons on all fronts. Everything the neocons are for, we're against. So. But you know he's full of crap because he has people like McGregor on and has no skeptical questions to ask these people. It's just pure fucking softball. I heard even his Fuentes interview was just softball. Fucking hell, man. Crazy, crazy. But look at his recent guests. Yeah, he has like some nun on with a mustache. Like, what is? Who are these guests? He's bringing people on that like nobody's ever heard of, and acting like they're experts in their fields and stuff. Like he brings on this kook. What's that guy's name? Martyr Maid, acting like that guy's a serious historian. That guy's just some nut job blogger. That guy is not credible at all. And then Tucker's like nodding along. I think that's right. I think that's right. He's like Candace Owens. He's just a pure contrarian at this point. He's just trying to like question every narrative because mind blown. How do I blow people's minds next show? Well, the official story here is false. Guarantee you he's going to start getting into like JFK 9/11 true stuff. He's going to get into some other conspiracies. Like he's doing like this Alex Jones pivot. It's basically because he's been friends with Alex Jones for years, right? So you can tell he's kind of into some of that conspiracy shit. But he was just holding it all back. Like I said, on Fox News, he was actually pretty good, right? If you cut out the Russia shilling, like his other stuff on the domestic American stuff, like BLM and Biden was pretty good stuff. But the Russia shilling was disgusting, and now his like Muslim fetish, pro Palestine shit. I mean, at least be consistent and support Ukraine's self defense. But he's not consistent. He's a fucking asshole. So I hate the alt media, dude. I don't know. The only Johnny Gat's one of the best guys. I love that guy, man. Where's Johnny Gat when you need him? That guy was top. That guy was top notch. Old Tucker would be embarrassed of his current form. Yeah, I seriously hate Carlson at this point. The guy's shit. Frog says the masses consume slop. You're a niche of a niche counterculture topic. It's the nature of the game that you won't have mass appeal of a TikTok shithead. Right? Well, but I mean, right wing politics are getting pretty popular, so it's not like you can't pop off at some point. I mean, I've popped off before. It's just unfortunately like when you kind of move into a different direction to some degree, you're going to lose part of your audience, and but you have to build up a new audience, build it back up. I mean, if you look at like that Cam Higby guy. I mean, that guy's getting massive play at just doing these college debates, and he's like center right. I mean, he's not even He's not even far right. He doesn't talk about white identity. He doesn't talk about remigration too much. He just kind of defends Donald Trump. He's like Charlie Kirk's 2.0 type stuff. And that guy's getting massive play, like on YouTube and stuff. So, I mean, if there's a massive audience for that center right stuff, there should be a pretty massive audience for my national conservative, further to the right stuff. But it's tough to pop off on socials. It's tough to pop off on socials, man. But you keep plugging away. Yeah, I mean, but dude, kissing everybody's ass in the alt media, dude, that just was never gonna happen. There's too much fucking dipshittery going on. There's too many assholes. There's too many charlatans, and need to be called out. I mean, somebody like my kind of niche was calling out the fucking charlatans, right? I sort of made a niche about that because I was seeing some bullshit going on, some absolute bullshit. It started with the Russia shilling stuff. I was calling that out. I was calling that out on the right, on the left, everywhere. But then the Hitler cult just ticked me off, man, because these fuckers were just lying their bitch asses off all day long, lying, spreading memes, spreading fake information. They just need to be set straight. And these guys just post slop. I mean, just as you find slop in the other sectors, you find just as much slop on the far right. On the far right, they got their version of slop bullshit, right? They got Kalergi plan fake. There's no Kalergi plan, man. Kalergi, go read the full fucking chapter where he talks about that, race of the future. It's not a plan. The guy's just rambling about mixed race and pure race people. He's fucking rambling, dude. There's not a plan in that book. And then they just truncated two quotes and made a conspiracy out of it. It doesn't mean I don't like the guy, but he was like this Christian. He was like this Christian fucking pan European guy who had some weird takes. Like, they've just, why even push that? You don't even need that to make the point that there's like these liberal elites. They want mass immigration. Like, don't need some weird conspiracy thing, right? But they love that shit, dude. In Spain, they push that shit too. All the fucking Natsock slot merchants in Spain, they push all that Kalergi bullshit, all the memes. These guys don't do any fucking research, man. It's incredible. And they just repeat it as if it's a fact. And then I have to correct these people and just do basic fact checking on their shit. It's like you're just embellishing something that's real. It's like there's mass immigration and you want to create this fake conspiracy about Kudenhove Kalergi. And I bought into that shit too. When I wasn't doing my due diligence, I bought into the meme shit because I didn't actually read the fucking source. So it's like I was not doing the necessary research back in the day. I mean, that's how I fell into the slop JQ stuff back in the day as well. They did communism, not looking into it fully, right? It was actually when I was doing research for Anti-White Agenda part 5, where I was looking into the immigration. I was trying to find all the people doing it, all the people promoting it, and I found that it was all these. I looked at, like, there's like the business lobby, and they want it for their economic reasons, and then you have the religious groups, and I was looking at the religious groups, and I found there's these Jewish groups pushing it, but then there's all these Christian groups and Muslim groups pushing the same thing. And so that's when I was like, okay, maybe I had a bit of tunnel vision there. Maybe I wasn't really looking at the full picture here. And then I just I took a mental note of that, and I'm like, well, apply this to other parts too. Apply this to other issues as well, and try to look at all the players doing it. And you'll see in every case, Random says, let me just check the chat. Let's see here. Appreciate that, Froggy. Well, unfortunately, the breakthrough was kind of on BitChute, and then that site became a total cesspool of retardation. And so now I don't even like post there anymore because it's such a dump. Like all the people there, they just want to see the same fucking slop shit, dude. It's ridiculous. All you need to do on BitChute is just go on BitChute and post a video of black people fighting, and it'll get like 20,000 views. King Feynman says, "Is that Johnny which Ziggers were claiming to be your secret identity?" Yeah, that was their fake conspiracy theory. Like, think about how stupid that was. Like, why would he come back? First of all, why would I do that? Why would I want to give credit? Why would I make an entire documentary and then give the credit to some other guy? Like, what would be the purpose of that? It doesn't even make sense. And it was about Russia. Everybody knows my opinions about Russia. So they were trying to come up with all kinds of cooped out conspiracy theories. Like, that's how you know those people are mentally ill, right? And they believe their own kook shit. And that's when I realized, like, dude, a big chunk of our audience here is dumb. These BitChute viewers are dumb fucks, man. I look at the comments and they're like spurging out wildly and talking about flat earth and talking about vax, this and that. And dude, it is wild. The kooks on that site is wild. Yep. Random says, "Do you believe all black people are the same people? The reason why I'm asking you this is because most right wingers think the same about them." Do you mean, do I think all black people are the same? Is that what you're saying? Obviously not. Like, there's no group of people is all the same. No race of people is all the same. Uh, yeah, there's some high IQ black people, right? Thomas Sowell. um, who was that other guy that was in the first Trump administration? Ben Carson or something like that. There's some black professors and academics that clearly have high IQ. It's just they're less likely to have the high IQ than white people or Asian people. And so you see, like, that's why they call it a bell curve, whatever. So, like, more black people be on the low IQ end than white people. White people have more geniuses than black people would have. Very few black people will hit the 124 IQ point. I think that Linda Godfredson woman had a paper on that. So yeah, they're just less likely to be super intelligent, more likely to be average or lower than average. But yeah, they're not all bad. I mean, that's just a caricature position. That's absurd, right? Like, there's definitely a critique to make of black culture and how it's degenerated and how black liberals are always making excuses for black criminality. You can make all those critiques and make fun of their culture and not hate all black people, right? Like, I don't hate all black people. I just think there's obviously normal people in that group that you've met, that I've met, that are normal. So that doesn't mean I want to mass import them to the West. Obviously, like, these positions are not mutually exclusive. But like I said that. But this is what people get ticked off. Is like, I've said that about Jews too. Like, there's some right wing Jews that'll give credit for being right wing. It's like, Doesn't make sense for me. Like if you're mad at Jews for being disproportionately liberal and left wing, then why would you be mad when they're right wing? Why would you hate them when they're right wing? That's counterintuitive. I mean, you want them to be right wing. If the criticism is that they're left wing or that they're disproportionately left wing, well, then maybe give some praise to the ones that are not left wing, and maybe more of them will become right wing. But when I do that, they call you you're a J lover. You love him, man. You're a shill. You're a Zio now, man. How? Just because I said Stephen Miller's doing pretty good, Eric Zamor, people like Michael Levin. I mean, you could find them on the race realist end. You had Michael Levin. He wrote that book Why Race Matters. You had what's her name, um, Amy Wax. She's part of American Renaissance. The co-author of the Bell Curve, Richard Herrnstein's a J, and he's was one of the people who wrote that book. So you can find them on the race realist end. You can find them in the center right. You can find them on the far left. You can find them on the center left. You can find them in the social democrat. They're on the entire spectrum of politics. I mean, they're just not a monolith. So that's all I'm saying about that. Is like, yeah, some of them are dubious, and there's some weird stuff going on with some of them for sure. And I'm willing to call out their double standards if they have it. But I'm also willing to give credit to the ones that are on the right side for most issues. But when you do that, they attack you, right? They say you're a shill, man. Like it's so stupid. Like they accuse you of that yet in all the articles I've written where I'm pushing back on their exaggerations because that's all I'm doing. There's not a single fucking line in any of those articles that are actually pro Israel or pro Judaism or pro Jewish in the sense of being supportive of their culture or religion. There's like not a single fucking line in there. Ask them to pull out a line, not one line, because it's not about defending their religion or cultures. They don't defend it. It's about refuting the lie that it's only them, right? But they pretend and twist your words because they're idiots. We got Frog Eyes says USS Liberty is another example, not what 4chan makes you think it is when you go down the truth rabbit hole on that one. Yeah, I saw there was like a debate between Cam Higby and the USS Liberty survivor, and it seemed like Higby may have had a few points on him, and the guy didn't quite have all the facts on his side. But I haven't really looked too much into the case. I kind of just assumed it was a deliberate attack. Now it's possible it was an accident. I don't know. Not an accident, but it's possible it was mistaken identity. But I can't say for sure either way because I've never studied the issue. So, but I mean, it's like something that happened 50 years ago. So it's like the fact that I guess they just bring that up to prove that Israel's not the greatest ally. I get it, right? They aren't the greatest ally. I've never made the claim that they are. I don't believe they are, right? Random guy says, "Have you ever seen e-girls LARPing as a Nazi to attract attention from incels online?" 100%, dude. A bunch of them popped up. Remember when I was doing the Omegle bit? A bunch of these women, Nazi women, started coming up doing the little N-word bit. I mean, it was just so unbecoming to see women do that. I mean, it was. I admit I made a mistake doing that, and then to see women like just speaking like that, it's so uncultured to have a woman like screaming N word and shit at people. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you could be attracted to a woman like that. Women are supposed to be nice. They're supposed to be feminine, sweet, and then you just got these fucking schizos screaming N words and doing Roman salutes and calling for like violence. Like they're just total nutcases, man. Yeah, I mean, I had a few of those NS grifter girls try to get in my DMs and stuff, and they're totally fake. They're all whores, sluts. They're not traditional at all. They're just fucking larpers, man. That's what I found, that that entire movement is just a bunch of larpers. Like all the ones that I've met personally, I've told a story before. I met one that's just like a total degen. A lot of them are doing drugs, hookers, all kinds of bullshit, and that they're LARPing as like these super trad people. I think the more you put on that super trad skin suit, the more there's probably something else going on behind the scenes, right? It's just a LARP. Jake says haven't been on there in 2 years. Funny how I found. Yeah, I go back there once in a while just to see like, I still have the same like subscribers on there. It's like, 12K or something, but there's no point like, because they just stay, like people tend to stay on one platform. It's hard to bring them over to a different platform. So it's like, there's no point in me posting there, right? Frog says, "Do you ever see the ads play on Rumble videos? Tells you a lot about the average Rumble user." Yeah, dude, those ads are stupid. They're total retarded shit. Battle Goose says, "Blacks as a whole, though, are pretty much retards. I certainly could live without them." Yeah, I mean, I think there's some high IQ ones, but it's just not beneficial to mix them together, right? Like they're very different, especially the American blacks as well, African as well, but the American blacks have such a chip on their shoulder about white people that it's just mixing them with white people is crazy. Like they want to get revenge on whites. Looks like. Have you seen Williams on TikTok? He's speaking out against black culture. No, never heard of him. Keltian Chronicles. Never heard of him. Random guy is black himself. Ah, that's interesting. Interesting, sir. So we got some black viewership. You're the only black viewer, man. The only one. Actually, there's a couple on Instagram that were in the comments there. Yeah, I mean the whole like all black people are bad bit. I mean, I used to do that. That was just more like a comedy bit, but I don't think anyone actually believes that. Like even the people like these schizo streamers saying that, they don't believe that. Like even Gypsy Crusader, he doesn't even hate black people as much as he's claiming he does. There's a fucking video on X of him like banging some black chick, man. Like he's banging black chicks on the side while he's claiming he hates their guts. It's just a bit. He's just putting on a bit for the black fatigue. It's just a grift. But like I said, there's valid critiques to make. It's just that doesn't mean they're all fucking the same, right? Deficient frontal cortex. I've heard that. There are new e-girls who lust after wignats. Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, like there's a big groupie NS groupie shit going on, dude. That's probably who they're all hitching up with. Because when I was in that scene, the groupies were much more active. When I moved out of that scene, I haven't heard from many groupies lately. So it's definitely that it tracks this that it's like that shit. You know how their women are attracted to serial killers. That's those type of women. The women attracted to that neo-Nazi schizo shit. They're attracted to like the most radical bad boys. Like that's the phenomenon going on. It's like the most like fringe taboo things and people in society. That's who they're attracted to. So that type of woman is going to be completely off her rocker, right? And the whole thing, like seeing these women get into that, and they're like using the lingo of the NS shit. They're like, Yeah, we're Aryans and shit, man. White pride, Aryans. Like, dude, women to have a woman that's just a total turn off to have women speaking like that. It's so insincere. They're just mouthing shit to get attention. Unbelievable, dude. I don't want like I want just a normal feminine chick that's not really political at all. Maybe she has to agree with me on some stuff, but like just be normal, a normal chick, dude. A chick that's super political and super into this shit is gonna be completely fucking nuts. Hyper political chicks, they're usually leftist, but even the ones on the right, they tend to be weird, dude. They tend to be fucking weird. Yeah, why would you want one that was that into politics, right? Look at Africa after decolonization. Tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, I think black people need to take accountability for the failures there. Like they're never going to improve, and there are black people who are doing that. There are some black commentators who are willing to criticize black culture and black failures and say, look, you guys did it. It's your own fault. Yeah, there was some oppression in the past, obviously. There was slavery. These things probably did have an impact on the development. Like it's not an excuse today. You can't use that as a crutch to excuse yourself. It's all about personal accountability, man. And I say that I hold the Wignats to the same standard, man. I see them doing a similar bit where they're trying to blame Jews for everything, right? Those WN Wignats, they have a similar mindset to the BLM schizos, right? They're like, we're just victims and we didn't do nothing and our own people didn't do nothing. And these other people did it to us. They're holding us down, man. And it becomes this pathetic excuse making exercise where it's like their own life sucks. Blame this group. Blame some other group. It doesn't fucking help you, man. You can tell a lot of the Wignats do that. They like don't pursue other things in their life. They don't pursue certain careers, higher education, whatever, because they're making some excuse that they're being held down and oppressed, man. It's not going to help you in your life, dude. Trad women tend to be small town or country girls. You won't find one in a big city, says Dunioshio. Yeah, some truth to that, but small town, dude, it's tough to live in a small town, man. It's so boring. Like nothing goes on, and yeah, a very limited dating pool. You know, there's not going to be a whole ton of women, and those chicks in small towns. I'm not. I don't buy that they're going to be like so much better. I mean, they might be a little bit better, but you can find a chick in a city too that's not some raging feminist or whatever. I don't think it's just like big city versus small city thing. I mean, what if it's a medium city? Like, how small does it have to be? Like 200 people? Maybe some isolated town with like 500 people is what you're talking about. But most cities aren't like that. Most cities are medium, medium size, and they're not. They're going to be similar to any other city. So maybe you go to a church or something. Yeah, you won't find a trad girl like in a nightclub or anything. Definitely not. Meet your wife at the dentist. How do you do that? Like in the fucking waiting room? You're just gonna do a little pickup in the waiting room? I guess you could. I guess you could do that, but just regular PUA is fine. Regular PUA where you just pick them up and in the street. I mean, it's not a bar, it's not a nightclub. Regular people are walking down the street, so in a park, chick in a park walking your dog, all that shit. Enough the political stuff. We want to know more about you. Well, this isn't quiz Brandon on his personal preferences, is it? Yeah, I mean, I recommend you do PUA. It builds up your it builds up your confidence. It builds up your social skills. Builds up your communication skills, your conversational skills. You got to be quick on your feet. You got to be witty, and you can definitely meet your girlfriend or even a wife doing that. It's really not that much different than just meeting her at like a party or meeting her from friend of a friend. I mean, it's really similar. It's just another person you've never met before, right? So, no, I don't have kids, not yet. The thing is that when I moved to Spain, I'm not using this as an excuse, but when I moved to Spain, I was like 26. And so I had to start from zero, like zero. I had to learn the language. It took me 2 years to learn Spanish fluently so I could actually converse and speak well with people. I've lived in multiple different cities in Spain. I've never been stuck in just one because I was trying to find the better city with better climate and stuff. And so when you move around, you can't hold down a chick, man. They're not going to just follow you. If you just met the girl recently, she's not going to go move to some new city for you. So that makes it much more difficult to hold one down. Obviously, the dating market's very saturated and oversaturated, and it's tough, right? So yeah, I just haven't had the best circumstances to find a good prospect. Mostly these dudes who do get hitched up early, they find their wife in college. So that never happened to me. So I took the thing is in college I was taking written journalism, and it was written. I should have taken the TV journalism because the hot chicks were in the TV journalism and not the written journalism. The written journalism was for the fucking ugly chicks, dude. All the chicks were hideous, man. They were fat. They were lesbian types. There was a couple cute ones, but just didn't. I just didn't. I didn't make the move on them. And but in TV, the television journalism, I looked in there because it was like next to my class, and I was like, damn, these chicks were like good looking in that because they all want to be on TV, dude. The chicks who get into TV journalism, they're almost like similar to like chicks who want to be an actress, right? They just want to be on TV. I guess the TV journalism is just an easier career than being an actress, right? Because there's way less competition to be like a TV journalist. There's a lot of competition to be a TV journalist, especially like on a big channel. Like it's not that easy to make it on like a big channel to get like host your own show and all this shit. It's a ton of competition there. But you can probably just get on TV in some smaller city, right? Like there's definitely jobs available to them. So as long as they're on TV, they think they've made it, dude. So a lot of these chicks get into that. And I told you the Spanish chicks. Unfortunately, the Spanish chicks are super feministic. They got this bitchy attitude problem as well. Not all of them. Like, there's obviously different types of women in Spain. They're not all the same, but there is this cultural tweak they got where they're like very masculine and like bossy. and edgy, and like they swear a lot too, and it's just a turn off, man. Super feminist. No, I'm not in my 40s. You don't see any grays here, are you, kid? Maybe I got a couple grays. No, I'm 30. I'm 35 now. Look like I'm 29 though, don't I? Look at that hairline, big guy. Look at that hairline. But I started the political shit when I was like 19, man. That was a long time ago. But I remember back when I started the political shit, it was mostly conspiracy shit. It was like Alex Jones bullshit. And then I immediately started a blog and got into the 9/11 truth stuff. But I was not discerning enough back then. Like my research skills were not the best. I bought into memes and I was not doing my due diligence. Yeah, I was on track on a lot of points, but I just hadn't quite caught the nuance yet. I was too gullible. I was reading bad sources. Some truth to those sources, but there's also some fiction. So as you get older and you do more research and read better sources, and you can come to a clear picture. Are you a Fed? Coast to coast with Art Bell. No, there was a time where I was into that stuff, dude. I was into that extraterrestrial stuff, UFOs, all that shit. But that was like when I was way younger. I was like 18 or something, and I got bored of that shit within 3 4 months. I was like, dude, this UFO shit is dumb. It's going nowhere. Judging by the girls in your videos, the average Spanish girl is not beautiful at all. Yeah, the thing is, the ratio is not the best. I'd say the ratio is probably better in Scandinavia. There's some hot Spanish girls, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, they're not like, it's not like 7 out of 10 are hot. It's more like maybe like 2 or 3 out of 10. And Finland, the chicks are pretty damn hot, dude. It's like maybe like 6, 7 out of 10 are like pretty good looking. There's obviously some ugly ones up there too, but even the ugly ones at least are not too bad. British chicks are not the best either, though, dude. Have you seen British chicks? Damn. I've seen some really fugly British chicks in Benidorm. Jesus. There's some good looking ones, obviously, but I can't say the ratio is that good there. Why are you so against Nick Fuentes? He isn't that bad compared to Handsome Truth. Yeah, he's better than Handsome Truth, I'll tell you that. He's better than that, for sure. But the thing, well, Steelman, my argument. What is my critique? The critique is the some of the meme shit he does, Kanye West bullshit. Like they're calling him out. The Wignets call him out because he's like criticizing them for doing Swazi shit, but then he approves of Kanye West doing the Swazi shit. Incoherent. I say they're both dumb for doing the Swazi shit. But then there's the Christian angle where he refuses to acknowledge the Christian liberals doing the same shit. He's just pushing this JQ slop. He does the JQ slop. Like he's a smart guy. He's high IQ, but he is also like this populist who just wants to feed slop to people. So he doesn't do due diligence on a lot of topics. I mean, he's a guy that pushes Kalergi plan and this kind of dumb shit. I mean, I actually thought he was way better like prior to that COVID turn. Like when he was on the Trump bandwagon is like 2018. In 2018, that was probably like his best phase because his best phase was when he was still a paleo conservative and he was pro Trump, but critical on some issues of Trump. He wasn't just glazing the guy. Like he would call him out for being too pro Israel and too Zionist and all this, but he wouldn't just throw him under the bus. And his coverage was better, I think. He was also good thing he was doing back then was he was calling out the Wignats. He was actually smashing on the Wignats. Like he was one of the guys that originally hit him. Like he came out. He I think he created the term Wignat. I think he was one of the first to call them Wignats. And so he was always for good optics. He was a paleo conservative. He wasn't. He was critical of Israel, but not totally obsessed. And he wasn't pushing this pro-Muslim third worldist shit. That he got into that though. See, I'm telling you, he went through this shift where he had these good takes. Like he was, critical of the neocons and like the pro-Israel obsessed faction, but then he wasn't like just glazing on Palestine and Muslims and taking up that position. He was pretty much like critical of both. And then around 2020, 2021, he he totally changed his tack, dude. He became a third worldist. He started shilling Eurasianism. He started shilling for Russia. He started shilling for China. He started pushing anti-Americanism, and he's like, "Yeah, BRICS. We want the Chinese to get powerful so they can take our government down, and then we get the power." So he's pushing this anti-American shit. I mean, he did that recently. He's like, "Americanism is a heresy." So he's moved into this fucking gay third worldist LARP, and he's given up his old paleo conservative takes. And then he starts JQ Spurging. So he used to have good takes on that too. Like he called them out when they need to be called out, but he wouldn't just like obsess on that all day long, and make it like just mangle the whole fucking thing. Now he's doing that. Now it's just like every day, all day is just J, J, J. He ignores all the Christian libtards, never calls them out. And then the other thing is just the Christianity obsession. Pushing that all day long. Christ is king. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus will save you. Christ is king. That's just fucking annoying, man. Like that's I just can't do that. Just can't do that shit, man. But here's the thing, man. Like, if you just glaze the guy and don't like point out these flaws, he's never gonna get better. I mean, he's getting a little bit better on the. He's pretty much given up the Russia bootlicking bullshit opportunistically. I don't think he's too sincere on that. He's finally realized that kissing up to these third world Muslims is bullshit. It doesn't work. It took him 2 fucking years of glazing these dumb Muslims like Suleiman Muhammad and fucking Amru Fudel and Sneeko and these dipshit brown Muslims who hate the West. He was glazing these fuckers just for clout and this fake alliance. Finally, he realized that doesn't work. It took him 2 years to run through that LARP, and yeah, there's just some problematic points there, right? It's yeah, I would say the 2018 version of him was like way better than this one now. Than the Kanye West LARPing and all this gay shit, dude. It's unfortunately he's just a psychotic narcissist, so he's just a clout goblin, dude. He doesn't care. His positions are very dodgy. He just kind of flips them on a dime, and And then he does this thing. He just goes into one. There's a meme on this. He just like circles through these positions and flips them on a dime, and it's all for clout. It's all just to gain more followers and get more famous. Like I think that's pretty much what he's interested in. I don't think he cares about any real change. So he's got a flawed personality, dude. He's got like this messiah complex going on. Yeah, he's demanding this. I remember he actually said one time, he's like, you need to have total personal loyalty, like fuck morals, total personal loyalty. And then he's glazing Stalin. He says Stalin's good. Yeah, because he wants to be Stalin. He just wants to be some dictator that everybody, all the yuppies are like clapping to him. And they can't stop clapping because Stalin will kill them if they do stop clapping and shoot them in the head, right? Dude, that type of personality is just a fucking nightmare, dude. They're gonna ruin everything. Yeah, people go at me for changing some of my views. It's like, first of all, the one thing they're talking about is just the Hitler shit. Like my actual political views are the same. Like how are they different from what they were 4 years ago? Even when I was had that branding, I still had the same takes. Like I was not not buying into this like anti-capitalism. Capitalism is bad and socialism's good. I never bought into that. I pushed back on that. I called them out for being gay commies. Not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying it's better than this gay communism shit. They always hated that, right? They were like, no, socialism's the answer, man. So I just realized these guys are just proletarians, man. These are just white proletarians. They're like poor white people who want free stuff, right? That's gay, dude. You don't get free shit just because of your race. But I had all the same takes. It was just different branding, right? Like they're over exaggerating the shift. The shift was one of optics and some historical takes that I was just wrong on. I just had the wrong information at the time. I was not looking at the correct information. Um, so I'll admit that I'll admit when I was wrong and misled and mistaken and correct that point of view. But that's a historical take. That's not even a political take, really. It's not like I changed my any view on a social topic, on immigration, on even economics. It's all the same. It's just this fucking historical topic, and they think that's like some gigantic worldview shift. Yeah, well, if I have more following, I certainly won't be going back to that Hitler shit. I'll tell you that. But you're just talking about live stream following. I mean, the thing is, like, live stream, like even when I was doing that shit, I didn't have a massive live stream audience. Like I probably peak at like maybe 100, max, even when I was doing that LARP shit. Yeah, it's not easy. You just got to be a joker entertainer to have that kind of pull, right? The only thing Fuentes is consistent on is the JQ, and even with his JQ, he said in his Tucker interview that his best friend is a Jew. Well, I don't think Yemenis and Saudis are necessarily whites. They are Caucasoids. They're a non-European Caucasoid, I guess you could say. That would be the most accurate description. I think some of them look white or pass as white, so I think I would consider them the ones that pass as white. But like I've seen some Lebanese people that are totally white. Like they did, I couldn't. I met a Syrian chick in Spain once, and she had like blue eyes, totally European appearance. Like I had no idea she was from Syria. But then you see other ones that look like super dark, right? So yeah, I wouldn't say Middle East. I mean, Middle Eastern people are, I guess, there's some mix there. Like, I guess there's some sub-Saharan African that's kind of mixed into there. I don't know, but some of them, some of them can pass. Some Turks can pass as well. But in any case, like you have to draw the line somewhere. Like then there's the issue of admixture. There are people who are European who have some non-white admixture. They might have 10% Native American or 15% Asian, or even some black. Like it gets so messy on the edges of this thing, and it's like there's no clear answer. Everybody's got an opinion. It's a very messy topic. I don't even like to get into it because it's so fucking messy, and it's all opinion based. But let's just say I have no interest in inviting Yemenis, Saudis, or any of those people into the West. They're all Muslims, pretty backwards cultures too. Yeah, I mean, there's just two types of Caucasoids, I guess you could say. There's the European Caucasoids, and then there's the Middle Eastern Caucasoids, or the North African Caucasoids. Like, I've met people from Libya that look totally white to me. Like, I couldn't really tell. They could pass easily as any kind of med. So, but like on those edge borders of regions of Europe, that's just going to be the case, right? I mean, they're not like a totally separate. Like no, I don't think as an anthropologist would say those North African like Berbers and stuff are like some totally different race than Caucasian. They're basically like a sub Caucasian group. Um, I mean, look at the Assad family in Syria. I mean, they look white, right? But it doesn't mean I want to invite them into Europe. They have a Muslim culture, Muslim and Arabic culture, which is not good, right? And they got their own, like, obviously the average Spaniard is much whiter than the average Moroccan. I think you look the average Moroccan, you can tell they're like dark skin. It's not super dark, but it's like tanned, and they got some curly hair or some shit going on. I don't know if there's any mixtures into Morocco, like African mixtures or whatever. There could be, but then some other ones like that I've seen just look totally European. They got like blue eyes, green eyes, and stuff. So it's one of those things, man. Yeah, I think there's some black Saudis. Syrian girl could pass as white. Yeah, Gypsy Crusaders, an interesting psychological study case. Yeah, CrossFit says your definition of white, or he says my definition of white, referring to himself. If your race, nation created white European culture, then you're white. Well, dude, like even this was always the divide and the debate within the Wignat sector or within the WN sector is like what is white. I mean, go look up some of those writers like what was that guy? He wrote the 88 Precepts. He's one of like the OG Wignats, and I don't think he even had like some serious line. Like he was just like, if you look white and consider yourself to be white, then you're white. Like that was his thing. So that's not even a percentage thing. That's just like if you look white. But then that's kind of fuzzy because you can have some really dark looking Mediterraneans that could technically pass as a Middle Eastern person, and yet they're fully European. Yet they're physically like tanned and dark hair, dark eyes. So it becomes super subjective at the end of the day. Is like where do you draw the line on just a look, right? So some of these guys are would go prefer the other route, just go by like what's their actual ancestry or something. But who gives a shit? I mean, We won't even have to care about that stuff if immigration is stopped, right? Line should be at European people. Yeah, I mean, I don't advocate for any. I don't advocate for any of those Middle Eastern groups to come to the West in any big numbers at all. I don't want them to come to the West because they're Muslims, man. Like even if they were white, like I wouldn't want. I wouldn't even want Bosnians to come because they're fucking Muslims, dude. Yeah, I mean the term white European is better term, but white. It's not the most academic term. But yeah, I mean some of these Nordicist schizos say that Spaniards are not white and Meds are not white enough or they're mixed. They got admixture, so they're not white enough and one drop rule. So that shit gets so fucking retarded. It's kind of a waste of time to even debate that stuff. It's like, and you see how they can tactically weaponize whiteness, right? Like one minute you're white, the next minute you're a brown beaner, or you're a Moor now because we're going to call you a Moor to otherize you because we don't like your opinions on Hitler, man. So you see how they operate? Those slimy fuckers, like they don't even have that. That's why they don't. They like that there's no solid definition of white, so they can move the goalposts and include or exclude whoever the fuck they want at any time for ideology. So they'll include Gypsy Crusader, who's has mostly Gypsy origin, but then they'll say, "Oh, you're Martinez. You're not white enough because you're Spanish, and Spaniards are Moors, man." So you see how that it's not even for them. It's not even like actually racial. It's just purely ideological. It's like you get into the club if you like Hitler, even if you're not European. You could be some full blooded fucking Arab from Palestine, and you say you love Hitler, they'll let you in the club, right? So that whole Wignat LARP is so slimy. Like there's no they're just tactically shifting the goalposts to fit their call, right? King file and there are millions of atheist Turks and Kurds. I don't know. I think the Christian ones are better. Well, if they're atheist or Christian, they behave better. Um, maybe if they're Christian, even better than the atheist ones. But like Coptic Christian Egyptians seem more civilized. Lebanese Christians seem more civilized. Syrian Christians seem more civilized. So I feel like the Muslim. It's mainly the Muslim thing, but yeah. Either way, I'm not advocating for some kind of mass immigration from these countries. Think that's. I don't think there's a point to that. Well, they're Europeans, right? So we can define European, but the term white or Caucasian would be broader than European, right? Whereas, I mean, I guess Armenians would be considered Caucasian too, even though they're not really European. I don't know what their origin is, to be honest. Maybe there's some European origin to Armenians. But European is clear. It's like Ukraine is in Europe. They're obviously Slavic. We know that. But so there is a type of definition, but yeah, like what if you had though a Ukrainian that's like half Tatar or something? Like it gets quite messy, right? When it comes to these sub ethnicities that exist, there could be a Ukrainian that's got some admixture from Tatar, and that's kind of partially Turkic. So, like, are you going to be, oh, we care about the Ukrainian that's fully Slavic, but he's this one with 20% Tatar admixture. We don't give a shit about him, you know? So it becomes kind of autistic, right? But if they're broadly European, let's just use that term, broadly European. So, like, born, raised in Europe, mostly European background, even if there is some admixture, like, I guess that's not. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in, my friends. We're going to end the stream here in just a second. Good little chat here. Good questions. Very good questions. But it's funny because back when I was into the Wignat shit, that they would be asking me that, right? They'd be like, "Hey, what's the cutoff line, bro? What's the fucking cutoff line? Who's white, man?" They're like demanding I give the definition. It's like I don't write the dictionary. I'm not like a fucking geneticist. I'm not an anthropologist. So asking me what the cutoff line is, and I just don't have the answer to that, man. It's just like I don't think we'll need to have that. Honestly, if we just shut down mass immigration as it is, deport all the illegals. I mean, let's just start with that. This whole other purity spiral shit is just not. It's not really going anywhere. But just shows you there is a bit of a crack there, right? In that worldview, in the pure WN worldview, it's like there is a bit of a crack there because it's not solid. The borders of race are blurry. We know that. That's a fact. Just like the borders of color doesn't mean that there's no such thing. There are definitely genetic clusters of people, and you can see through their appearance and so on. There's definitely a Caucasian. There's a Asiatic, and there's a sub-Saharan African, very distinct phenotypes. But then when you get in those border regions, those blurry center regions, then it becomes tricky, right? So, all right, guys, take care, man. Peace out.